Welcome back, everyone, to another session of Crituitous RP. Thank you for joining us today. Before we actually jump into the session, a couple quick announcements, reminders, and all of that. We are at 303 followers. How awesome is that?
Yay!
Pretty awesome.
So we absolutely love you guys. Thank you very much. We're going to go through and thank our most recent followers this week. They are Lucky_Sandu, Roll to Confirm, Gosh Ghost, Atildo Swaggins, Bergtorp, OMFG Itta Gongles, and Trax Hunter. So thank you very much for all of you guys for following us. That number keeps climbing, and we appreciate every single one of them. If we can get up to 500, we're going to do something special. But right now, we have no idea what that is. So if you have any ideas, let us know. We might do them, might not, depending on how crazy those ideas are. All right. If you like what you see, please share us with all of your friends so that they can follow and they can enjoy our great adventures together. Follow us on Twitter. We are at Crituitous RP. You can follow us on our Tumblr. And that is tumblr.com. No, crituitousrp.tumblr.com. That one I always forget, and I don't know why. Crituitousrp.tumblr.com. You can read about our characters. You can read ongoing character RP out of game, or you can support us through Patreon at patreon.com/Teovent. So let's jump right into the adventure. Stephen will be here in a couple minutes, so in the meantime, I will take care of his character so that everyone else can enjoy themselves. Our heroes are inside the city of Omu. Why are they here? They have been told, they have been informed that somewhere within the city, most likely beneath the city, is the Soulmonger machine. The machine that is slowly killing everyone in the world. That's just what it's doing. And so they need to find it, they need to destroy the machine and solve this worldwide crisis. They have arrived into the city and they've met an interesting informant by the name of Ulfbert Hoss, and they've begun to learn a little bit about what they need to do. There are apparently 9 shrines to the trickster gods within the city of Omu. Inside each shrine is a puzzle cube. They need to collect these puzzle cubes to get in. Unfortunately, Raz NC has one of them, according to what Ulfbert tells you. We ended the session as our heroes were crossing over to move to the next shrine when they were spotted by a group of Yuan-Ti as moving along the walkway. So we're going to jump right into that position as these 5 Yuan-Ti are along the walkway. I believe you guys said that you would actually be walking around the outside of the walkway. So feel free to reposition yourselves however you would be. In whatever organization. That strip of grey is representative of the walkway.
They're still seeing us as we're walking along the left side on our way down, right? They spot us before we get all the way down to the bottom, correct?
It all kind of happened at about the same time.
All
so
right.
You got to the bottom, they kind of walked down to that space. That's when you saw each other. So what do you guys do as they see you?
In Abyssal, I'll just turn languidly towards them and be like, yes? Can we help you?
I want to see if there's like a cool check to see if you're keeping your cool.
I think it's a deception check, isn't it?
Or they're inside. I don't know.
Just straight charisma check for me. Let's just see how kind of relaxed. You're not trying to push anything on it. This is just to gauge how you're feeling.
Pretty chill.
Yeah, you're looking pretty calm. This is a normal situation. We've got this under control. And they seem absolutely none the wiser. As they approach, one of the smaller of the 5 individuals in front of you steps forward and responds to you in the same language that you just spoke. We are on patrol. What are you doing here? Who are you?
We are a hodgepodge group that have come to... How much do you know about what's going on here?
Are you from here? Are you not part of the clan?
Oh, I am and I am not. How much do you know about what's going on here? There's a limit to how much I can tell you.
Roll a deception check. Seeming a little afraid, she just simply looks around to the rest of the group. They're a little bit nervous, at least the pure bloods that are there. Oh, I'm getting a bit of noise. I think it's coming from Matthew. Okay, cool. So I don't know what she would do because I don't know what I would do in this situation.
Take your time.
You've actually stumped me, which is impressive. She's confused. She will actually approach you by herself with everyone else staying back. Is it serious? Is it? I know some things, but I don't know what you know. You know?
I know. Without
Are
going
you
in,
under orders from the master?
not strictly. He didn't give us direct orders, but we have come to help.
If he did not order you, what are you here to help with?
That's his business. Look, we don't need to fight each other. That much you can walk away with. If you like, go back to him and ask him.
Grigori.
In this case, it is not better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Grigori steps up to Zola and timidly master, if I may, and he's gonna whisper, if you need any help, just give me a look, and then just kind of steps back quietly and stares with his feet.
Deception check from Grigori, so he's trying to hide that. Roll and watch. See what he does. You are super calm. Very cool, collected about this. She looks at you. Can I perhaps get your name so I may pass on your presence and involvement to the master?
My name is Zola. You can let him know that we're here.
Zola. And where do you hail from, Zola? From here or the other colonies?
From Chult, generally. I have lived most of my life, however, in Nyanzaru. He'll know.
Okay. She will turn around. I'm impressed. They will continue their patrol, moving north, away from the party. So, we return to the city of Omo. You guys kind of... Whew. Oh, you're up there.
There goes Aaron's entire plan for the next hour. That big fight he had set up, just gone.
Our will approach. Well done, master.
It was very, very charismatic of you, both of you. It was well performed.
Though actually, as they're walking away, so what did you actually say to them? I have you like talking a bunch of hisses. You seem to be doing okay, but
that was
are we okay? Is there a problem? Like,
no, there's no problem. I told them to tell Rosnasi that we are here, that I am here specifically. I left you out of it.
I believe I did hear Zola in that mix of words.
I can't explain exactly why I'm not afraid of them. Maybe because I am one of them. Maybe there's some kind of instinct that's going on there. But
they are your people.
I feel confident. I feel in my element here.
So,
should not linger. Should we continue?
Yeah. What are you guys going to do, and where are you going to go?
Tower, I had a question for you. I think I've seen you before from time to time craft things out of wood. Are you a craftsman, so to speak?
I dabble. I do not have trade in such things. I just find enjoyment out of molding wood.
Are you familiar with the different kinds of wood? Like, if one wood would be more mundane or more rare than other woods, like you'd be able to see two items side to side and say, oh, that one is very impressively carved because it is made out of this rare wood.
I don't know, DM, would I?
For what I believe he is trying to get at, I'm going to say yes. You will be able to assume that the better wood is usually going to be the more supple, the stronger yet easier to use. So yes.
Yes, I can pick good wood, usually for crafting.
I have in mind a craft that I'm still picturing. I haven't settled out the final designs. But if you would be so kind as to keep an eye out as we're passing by these buildings, maybe if you see a door of finely crafted wood, or if we're in one of these buildings and there's furniture about, if you'd be able to point out anything that's finely crafted of a rarer wood, I'd appreciate it.
What scale and size are you wishing of wood do you wish to have?
Well, as I imagine it, it'll be maybe about 4 feet long, 3 feet wide. It'll be a box, a very finely crafted box. But I imagine the wood will be hard to come by, so any amount of wood we can find would lend itself to this project.
I will keep my eye out. So.
I think.
Okay. So,
as they're walking, Grigori just puts a hand on Zola's shoulder and says, well done. Very smooth. Very deceptive. I'm quite proud.
Thanks.
Well, carry on.
So what are you guys going to do?
I'm looking for wood.
I believe we were making our way towards point 4 on the map,
you are.
since we got through number 3 pretty quickly. So I think just very quietly trying to keep moving through Omu.
All right. So continuing to move about. What was that? Sorry.
Can I just quickly try and heal myself because I'm still a little bit beat up?
Of course you can.
Is that all right?
What would you do to do that?
Can I use healing word on myself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. No problem. All right. Then moving over. Bless you. Wait. Healing word usually uses a spellcasting ability.
Yeah.
So at least you should be adding a spellcasting ability modifier to that.
Okay.
While she's doing that, having just avoided a fight, Grigori's also going to cast Mage Armor to bump up his AC, since he hasn't done that yet.
That's plushes. So you should have your spellcasting ability modifiers 18.
Oh, okay.
I think. So, cool.
Yeah. So it does have the add ability modifier check selected.
All right then. Okay.
I
All
don't
right,
know
cool.
why it's not adding it.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. All right. Then, beefing yourselves up, preparing for what might come to pass. With your passives, you don't see anyone approaching you from any particular direction, but you can see, as you're getting closer to that cliffside, that the ground is becoming a little bit more unstable. Not that you have any risk of falling into the lava, but just it looks like the ground is cracked in areas where the earth would have been climbing up and filling up lower levels of buildings. You can see potholes that drop into the inside of a building in its lower level, starting to approach as the ground here just becomes a little bit rougher and more brittle. You continue to push past, and you will eventually spot a domed structure, a half circle, a hemispherical stone structure that stands inside a tight walled compound. The wall is broken and fallen apart, and you can feel the heat and the smell of the lava hitting your noses. Just kind of makes this whole area just almost feel a little sickly and dizzy as you approach. I'm going to move you to the map of the next shrine. Oh, and speak of the devil's bird-like companion. Just in time, he runs away. Okay. So, looking
that's very in character, though. Hi guys, bye. Ah.
Yeah. Looking at the domed structure in front of you, you can see that you have two huge stone monoliths in front that flank an entryway. Carved all over these monoliths are images of what look like jaguars with snakes protruding from their necks.
Do any of us recognize that? Yeah.
History or survival. It's a very good chance that you would have experienced or know of this creature.
In your bag?
Okay. In your experience, and just simply from hearing people talk about the different kinds of creatures that are associated with the trickster gods, you would come to understand that this represents a Kamadan, which a Kamadan is a jaguar with snakes coming out of its neck. Jaguars are cool, snakes are cool, Kamadans.
That's fine.
Is there any writing on the pillars?
There is some writing, and it's in Omoan.
Mustachioed fellow.
Rupert, would you be so kind?
It's going to fall off, so I probably won't be wearing it for too much longer. All right. Yeah, see. Cheap stuff. All right. Yes. It says Shagambi teaches us to fight evil with honor. Whatever that means. Between the two obelisks that you guys can see is a staircase that seems to disappear down into the dome structure. Because of the way that the roof slants, you can't actually see anything past that entryway.
Zola?
From your current position.
Is that what the tower actually says? Not that I don't trust this guy, but I don't trust this guy. This is quiet. He's not hearing me. This is an aside.
Okay.
I'll take a glimpse at it and confirm.
Yeah, it says Shagambi teaches us to fight evil with honor. So, if you remember what Kubazan's shrine said, to give back as much as you take. Think how you might apply this. How do you fight evil with honor?
Depends on the situation. I mean, we gotta go in to find out, I suppose.
Well, have at it. And he'll slap Grigori on the behind.
As he does, like as he hits me, I hit him with an inflict wounds.
You do?
Yeah.
Inflict
Why are you
wounds
wasting a
or
spell like that?
hellish rebuke?
I don't have Hellish Rebuke because I'm a very
Okay.
tiefling that lost it.
Fair enough.
Tell you what, how about a chill touch? How about he slaps my butt and it makes his hand cold and hurty?
Whatever you want to cast, go ahead and cast.
You're gonna kill this guy.
Yes. One does not slap Grigori in the butt. He does not take
Well,
kindly to that kind of thing.
As he's slapping Grigori in the butt, Peugeot's also gonna kind of look at Grigori and wink at him, and give a little chuckle right before he murders this guy.
Didn't Carmen slap both you and I on the arses last week?
Carmen has earned it.
Fair enough. As then he slaps you behind, he goes rigid and falls to the floor.
Oh no.
Is he dead?
Strictly speaking, NPCs die as soon as they hit 0 hit points.
Technically, strictly speaking, because you usually do that, right? But not always. So
You
maybe
have
he's
an opportunity to pick him up if someone's going to pick him up. Otherwise, he's going to die in 18 seconds.
Record it.
Yeah.
Healing word.
Okay.
God.
All right. So cast Healing Word.
He has less than 10 hit points.
Yeah.
he probably has one. He's probably like a commoner or something like that.
He survived the epic battle. I thought he'd have be a little hardier stuff. You know what? That doesn't even matter. Grigori would have done it anyway.
He's just gonna
as
slap Grigori
He
with
comes
a wing.
back up after receiving the Healing Word. Oh,
Do.
noted.
Word of advice, do not touch that one.
Nope. I don't know what I caught, but I hope I'm okay now.
Carl turns around and slaps him on the arse.
Who do you slap?
Oh, goodness.
I'm just gonna look over at Averine and roll my eyes.
Grigori gives with like he has these really sharp black eyebrows, and he looks at Tower and he gives you the sharpest like I won't hit you again. Tower's kind of earned it, but
Right, stop touching his butt, that's my
menacingly
job.
and diabolical as you could do it, he would basically say, "Not cool, bro. Not cool."
So,
I'm going in.
go on.
I will actively look for traps and things.
Okay.
I will
I'll
follow
stay
behind.
outside.
Eating.
Roll a perception check, Zola, as you enter. "26. Okay, nice. As you follow these steps that descend down, you don't see any traps, but immediately you spot a potential danger, which is the floor right in the center of this room is actually just a huge pit. It's a 20-foot drop, but there are thin poles that crisscross over them. A person could, if they're paying attention, walk along the poles and manage to get across without problem. But looking at how smooth they are and how wide the gaps are, someone not really paying attention could easily fall in between them and fall down. In the room, just beyond that pit, you do spot a pedestal, a stone pedestal. It's about 3 foot tall. And on top of it is another of those puzzle cubes, right there. Unfortunately, there appears to be some form of domed crystalline structure over the top of it that seems to be blocking, like enclosing it in like a lid. Behind it, you can see a picture, a relief carving on the wall. It depicts a monstrous jaguar with 6 snakes protruding from its shoulders, fighting off a squat, frog-like humanoid armed with a spear. similar to the grung creature you just saw sacrificed the other day. Looking around the room as you step in, you immediately notice that there are 4 bronze statues. Those are marked by the stars on the map, FYI. You'll notice them. Now, these bronze statues all look like typical Omuan knights, like Cholton warriors of days gone past, with their colourful headdresses and their brilliantly carved shield that looks like it's made out of a lizard-like carapace. However, all of them have an empty right hand. Looks like their hands are closed, like they would be holding on to something, but it's just a straight hole gap in between.
I feel like there's a spear missing from one of those hands.
Yep. All 4 of these statues seem to be missing their spears. Next to the relief carving, you can see another set of stairs that leads further down into the shrine. What would you like to do? What would anyone like to do?
Well, I think everyone's hanging outside except Zola at this point, right?
I think Pijo started saying
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I was going to head towards there as well.
Zola, what do you do? I have
Sorry.
javelins we could replace
Ty, I
with.
couldn't hear you. You're very quiet.
I have javelins. Maybe we should replace the armaments on these statues. To fight evil, you need a weapon.
That is a very good idea. Do you mind if I take more of a look around first to see what we're dealing with here?
Of
There
course.
There could be a secret over there or down there. And as I say that, I peer down into the pit. I'd like to see if I can... I notice on the map there are doorways down there.
Yeah. Looking down, you'll see, with your 26, that's an impressive score for a perception. With your 26, you notice a couple things. There are archways on either side of this passageway. So 20 foot below you is some form of corridor that cuts across this pit. You also notice that the pit, its floor, is one big square that's 15 foot by 15 foot, but it appears to be all disconnected from the corridor and the walls of the pit.
I bet you that's a mechanism down there. Some kind of squashy thing. I'm gonna call out into the shrine. Hello? Is anyone home?
A few moments later, you'll hear an echo. Hello? Is anyone home?
I think that was me.
From behind you, Pichu says, "Just me."
Okay, well,
But that doesn't echo.
Are these poles that cover this pit? Are they detachable?
They don't look like it. You could, with enough strength, maybe bend them and break them out of their hole, but they are sunk into the concrete, into the stonework.
Do they look like they could fit in the warrior's hands?
No, they're a little too wide.
And you say the cube is covered by a crystalline structure?
Mm-hmm.
Tower, don't you have a horn that is designed to shatter glass and crystal?
Yes.
I'm sure this is a more complicated puzzle, but sometimes the most direct answer is the easiest.
I can fix this, but there is a chance it will blow up.
Common benefit that.
I also believe Common's spell shatter is also hit for such things.
Is
She
it
said that.
is it a force field or glass?
It looks like a solid piece of crystal.
Crystal.
I'm gonna hazard it. I'm gonna tiptoe my way across one of the poles to get to the other side.
And paying attention, it's not too difficult to do. You focus most of your weight on the points where the poles cross. You can easily walk over while you're paying attention, so there's no ill issue at all.
I'm just, as she's going over there up by herself, I'm going to take out my bow and ready an action that in case anything looks like anything moves out to attack her, I'll just intercept.
Okay.
Now
Nothing seems to be doing it. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to start venturing down this corridor.
Okay. As you start going down, you feel a breeze coming through. Cold air just kind of funneling up in this direction. You turn the corner and you notice that this area obviously hasn't been traversed in a while because it's covered in cobwebs and dust all over the place. But you are stepping down now, slowly but surely, dropping 20 foot below the main room.
Is 20 feet about where that pit ended?
It's about where the pit ended.
Okay. This looks like
So
the entrance to the lower level here.
Zolda, hold up a moment. Can I take a look at this painting to see if there are any clues?
Definitely.
So the painting itself is just an image of the Kamadan fighting with the grung creature. So the leopard fighting with the frog-like creature. However, they seem to be obviously fighting over this spear. But there is a little bit that you notice with your 23, that the spear has a very particular design on it. You notice that down one side of the spear, there are little notches engrooved into it. Whatever that means. They seem to be equidistantly placed apart, like machined specifically at a certain distance.
So, like, whoever painted this picture included this detail, or I'm looking at something that has been added to the picture?
You're looking at an actual relief carving. So everything is actually carved into the stonework, and someone specifically carved these grooves into the spear at these specific positions. Judging by your intelligence, I would say you'd be able to tell that these grooves being placed like they are, you've only ever seen something like that being put on a key to a geared system. A gear that's going to turn needs a particular key with the grooves at the right distance to help the gear turn completely. So you'll see that this spear looks like it's got that grooved system used in a gear-like mechanism.
So I would conclude that we need to find a thing to put in this thing to lower the guard thing of the box.
I would say you could conclude that you need to find spears for each of the soldiers that match this design.
Oh, so not any spear. A spear that has this design.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
While Averine's looking at that, Grigori is actually going to, if he can, at the bottom leftmost, you see how these joints all kind of crisscross? He's going to actually tie a rope at the bottom leftmost joint and the upper rightmost joint that dangles all the way to the floor below, but it's tied off onto those things.
Okay. So 50-foot rope should be able to do it?
Sure.
Yep. Okay.
But he'll have two, one at the bottom left, one at the top right.
Yep. How good are your sailor's knots?
I mean, they're as good as most people's knots. Not particularly skilled at knots, but I live in the jungle these days.
Okay. You feel confident. You do a decent clove hitch or whatever. I don't know if that would be the right kind of knot. I have no idea. Please don't.
I mean, if I wanted to get really excited, I'd actually do a frapping, but whatever.
I'm just picturing little like bunny ear knots, like shoelaces.
Yeah. No, these are not quick releases. These are not designed to come undone if you pull the lace just right.
I will
Yep.
share with the group. So the painting looks like we need to find specific spears, not just any spear.
So then we got to go deeper. There's nothing else here.
Well, there don't appear to be any spears laying around.
Quick question. Those tunnels
Yep.
down there, from getting a look at them, do they look tall enough that we could comfortably walk in there, or are they like you would have to be crawling through?
No, they're tall enough to walk under.
Okay.
Easily.
Tall enough to get some air and fly under, to not touch the ground?
It's tight. I mean, you can't hover, so that's just going to be awkward for you anyway. It's a 5 foot wide, 10 foot tall corridor, as best as you can tell.
Okay.
So it's possible.
I don't think my wingspan would fit in a 5 foot wide corridor.
No,
if
not really.
He's about 5 foot tall. That's probably not just hitting the walls, and that's not conducive to actual flight.
So, what's everyone doing?
I'll follow Zola.
So do we all want to go in here together? And if so, what's our order going to be like? Because there's really only enough room for single file, it seems.
I think I'd be better at the rear, and if anything needs looking at, I can come up. But I don't think I add anything to being on the vanguard.
I will join you in the front, so
Okay, I suppose I'll lead.
Keep the middle. Yeah, behind the tower.
So, by all means, start heading down the corridor, turning through, brushing these cobwebs out of the way as you make your way around. The corridor turns abruptly. You'll see more carvings along the wall as you make your way. This time, the first carving that you see, Zola, stands out to you as an image of 4 Omuan warriors, stood in cells almost, each with a spear in hand.
I'm going to wave my blade in front of it to see if there's anything motion sensitive about what's going on here.
Nothing seems to happen.
All right, now my hand.
Everything seems okay.
Okay, good.
Okay. You move past, you see this, the next carving, slightly different. You see those 4 Omuan soldiers, but they're facing 4 other soldiers whose clothing does not match the Omuan style of the time. Doesn't match your style, but it matches just different kinds of armor. And the new individuals are now holding those spears. Okay.
Averin,
I'm going to, yep.
Hey?
can you make anything out of these carvings?
Let me have a look.
Nothing more than face value, I'm afraid.
Nothing more than face value, I'm afraid.
Where are we supposed to find the dang keys?
As you step to this position, Zola, you can see in front of you the pit. It's a 15-foot by 15-foot, 20-foot tall pit, open at the top, but now there's a rope dangling in the middle. Right? You see carved above the entryway, just in kind of a lip of the stone, so it's impossible to see unless you're actually facing the pit. In Omuan, it simply says gladiators are honored.
I mean, Omuan's old, like, the translation could go either way.
Yeah. I was trying to, for some reason my mind was stuck on gladiatorial. I was like, no, gladiators are honored.
So this up ahead appears to be a designated fighting pit for the gladiatorial variety.
There we go.
So would it be keeping in mind the hint from above? Although it would probably make sense tactically for someone to be above and shooting down, would that be dishonoring the spirit of the challenge, do you think?
Probably, yeah.
Well, very well.
Then again, how do you honorably fight something without honor? I say we take whatever advantage we can get.
You either
What?
win in a fight or you die. There is no such thing as honor in survival.
Why do you assume that whatever we're going to fight will have no honor?
Fighting evil with honor? The evil don't have honor.
I think
It's-
the point of that is not to become the evil in the subdual of it.
Maybe.
That's very wise, Zola.
That's what my mom said.
Your mom's very wise.
Yes, she is. Thank you.
All right, then. Let's get ready for some fisticuffs.
There is something funny up with this floor still. Like, do we maybe want to chuck something in there and see if it tries to squash it? Or
Chuck away.
I'm more concerned something goes in there and the floor drops away.
What are you going to throw?
I am concerned about our marching order.
I throw a tower.
There are 4 statuettes in these reliefs. 4 people. This is a similar situation when we faced the Newts before. Are we sure that the 4 here are the ones we want walking into this pit? Or maybe we have already proven our stature. The previous victors may need to walk in.
Well, I'm happy to go in, but if someone thinks they are a better combatant, I'm sure they wouldn't be wrong, as I am not one of physical prowess myself. But I'm
Whatever.
not going to
I'll
kick
try.
anyone in.
As long as
I
it
am
doesn't have a
happy
big
to
mouth.
So, who's stepping into the pit first?
Zola's stepping in. Grigori's walking around to the top of the arena.
what I'm going to do is, right at the threshold of the door, before I actually cross the threshold, I'm actually going to jump for the rope that's tied off at the bottom left, just in case something happens.
Okay, fair enough. Then step out. As you do, how much do you weigh?
Only like 125-ish.
As you step out onto it, your weight placed on the pit for a second, it begins to sink. You instinctively jump up, you grab the rope, and it lifts itself back up.
Neat!
You have a very big pressure plate right here.
Grigori will reattach a rope on the middle and then chains on the right.
Where'd you get the chains from?
Remember when I salvaged the
Sure.
chip? I've got 2
Fair enough.
chains that are 10 feet long.
Okay. So what are you doing with the chains?
I'm gonna loop those in the middle. I'm basically making like you can hand over hand get your way across by having 2 ropes on either end and 2 chains in the middle.
Okay, fair enough.
American Ninja style.
So, Zola, do you drop back down and put your weight on the floor?
I'm going to make sure they all know that this is a pressure plate before I do so. And I'm going to add, I think that it's trying for 4 average people's weights. Maybe that's what's up with the carvings.
No. Pijo will gladly step on it because if it goes too far or too fast, he can take flight and stay in the air.
Piju's a lot too light, and I account for Piju. Tower's gonna walk in, but he's gonna take out that feather that the old arrow
Okay.
poker gave him.
Fair enough. Well, as soon as Zola drops back down, before anyone else does step out onto the platform, It sinks about half a foot and then stops. With your weight alone, it won't go any further.
Oh.
Now, as it stops at the 6 inches point, you hear, coming from the corridor ahead of you, the shifting of some gates, some bars are moving, and then heavy footfalls of some creature. I will get rid of this because we don't need it anymore. You watch as a grung-looking clay gladiator steps out into the corridor. Looks like a 6-foot-tall, lanky frog holding a bronze spear.
There's the keys.
As he steps forward, he stands to here. What are you guys doing? He's about ready to step in. You've got maybe a second or two before he steps into the pit.
Kill it, Mapenzi, and I cast haste on Zola.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm going to twin it and hit Tower 2.
Okay. All right. Anything else that's being
Just
done?
for the record, I don't think we should gang up on these guys very much like the fire newts. I think that's the honor bit. Okay. Shh.
Then it steps forward. I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
Oh, sorry. I'm also, as he comes out, because this is close, I'm taking out my shield. This is not a situation for an arrow at all.
It's a very tight fighting spot.
Yeah.
Love that 3, Tower.
Another one of those nights.
Another one.
All right. Anyone missing from the turn order that would like to be in it? Zola, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we got everyone. Cool. Then at the top of the order, Zola, as this is your battle, your thing, as you lead the way, what are you going to do?
I'm going to cut him.
Okay.
There are 2 ropes on opposite sides and 2 chains on opposite sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea. All right, I'll stand under the chain as I unleash my fury.
Okay, go ahead and cut him.
18.
18. As it comes in to hit, he will use his reaction to parry that, and that misses.
Okay. And then bookmark. 26.
That's going to hit.
Okay. Add sneak attack, 17.
Okay. Anything else from you?
I am hasted, so I will attack again.
Okay.
13.
13's going to miss, unfortunately.
Okay. And then instead of using bookmark again, I will use fancy footwork to grab the chain and climb up it to a point where he will have trouble hitting me.
Okay. All right. Grigori.
Yeah! Woo! Get him! I'm done.
Okay. Joe.
Yeah, I'm gonna also just hold on to see if this is like that other fight. I don't want to upset Omu.
Okay. Carmen, in the corridor.
Yeah, Carmen's a bit of a loner. She's going to run around and watch from above next to Grigori and do the same. Go on, Zola, you can do it. And I'll give her a bardic inspiration as well.
Nice. All right. Averine.
I will cast Bless on at 2nd level to get the 4 folks in the pit.
Okay.
And that'll be my turn.
Okay. Then it is the clay gladiator's turn. With its spear in hand, this is a gladiator kind of made out of clay. It looks like a frog. It's going to point the spear up at Zola and she's going to start jabbing away at it. Two-handed attacks. That's a 10 to hit, so I think that's going to miss.
Miss.
Second attack will be a 13 to hit, so that's also going to miss. Wow, I'm rolling bad today. Third attack will be a 26 to hit.
Finally.
Okay. That'll be 13 points of piercing damage.
I will uncanny dodge.
Okay. So halve that down to 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Right. Then that'll be the end of the gladiator's turn. Tower. Feeling pumped up, feeling hasted. What's he going to do? Just a lot quicker, right?
Double time.
Yeah.
Okay. Zola.
All right, I'm going to drop back down and go again.
That 27 is definitely going to hit him. You'll
Sweet.
carve through his clay form for 26 points of damage.
Again.
He's looking heavily wounded. Another solid jab for another 7.
And then again.
Keep slicing away. Now, 3 attacks. How are you getting those 3 attacks? Just
Well, I'm hasted.
one is from haste.
Yeah.
One is your normal attack.
One is
You don't
bonus.
have it's bonus action, right? Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I don't have that. If I want to... Wait, no, I can. I can just forego my cunning action in order to do it. So yeah, that
Yes.
still works.
Okay. All right. Then anything else from you, Zola, as you just keep hacking away this thing, clay falling apart.
I don't need a cunning action to move, so I am going to scamper back up that.
Okay. You're staying within its melee range, though, right? Oh, no, don't need to, do you?
I don't... Yeah, no.
Okay. It's a bit of a tight space. Anyway, Grigori, are you going to do anything?
I know this isn't strictly in kind of how this is used, but between prestidigitation and thaumaturgy, can I make something like popcorn that has no real substance, but which Carmen and I can eat and watch?
That sounds good.
Something like that.
Or maybe some rations I prestidigitate to make buttery and fluffy. Eat those things. That's all. That's my turn.
No problem. Matthew, real quick.
Yeah.
You can control the volume that Roll20 is kicking out your audio.
All right, great.
So jump to your settings and change that if it's a little bit too loud for you. It's
Got it.
not coming through Skype. All right.
Very good. Thank you.
Moving on to Pijo. What are you going to do?
I'm just going to cheer for Zola. Because she's doing a good job of making some clay statues out of a statue.
Carmen.
I'm going to just sit there, and if me and Gregory got snacks, then I'm going to have some snacks. And imagine the Michael Jackson gif, you know, the whole like,
Yeah.
sit there watching, just happy.
Carmen and Gregory are finally having a moment where they can
We
do
are.
something together, and they're not like fighting or like arguing. It's just like good show, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to give him a nudge, wink, and yeah.
Averine, anything from you?
I will hold my wand out and aim it at the clay guy. In case he takes an attack on anyone but Zola, I will fire a firebolt at him.
Okay. Now, Zola, you actually scurried up the chains out of his melee range, right?
Preferably.
Okay. At which point he steps forward once and is going to reach his spear up and go to stab Averine, which Averine you can then use your reaction to make the attack.
I'll do exactly that.
Okay. It is in melee range, so you would have disadvantage, I believe.
Very tricky. So,
As the 18 comes in, it will use its reaction to parry the firebolt away. That's going to miss. Can it parry a firebolt? No. It can only parry one melee attack that would hit it, so never mind. All right, so you hit it. 19 points of fire damage. That clay thing is starting to melt.
Nice.
Right. Then it's going to start stabbing Averine. So 3 jabs at Averine. The first is a 9 to hit. So that's going to miss. The second is a 22.
I'll use shield.
Okay.
Oh wait,
Uh,
what is my AC?
You can't use shield because you used your reaction to do your readied action.
That's right. It wouldn't have mattered anyway because my AC is 17. So.
Okay. So the 22 hits you for 15 points of piercing damage, and then the third attack was a 13, which is going to miss.
Yep.
Okay. Tower.
No, Tower's not going to like that. He's going to rage.
All right.
That's unsportsmanlike. And then I'm just going to come down with the... Actually draw the greatsword and have a go with that. Why not?
Ooh,
Okay.
something new.
Don't forget you're hasted.
Yeah.
That's definitely going to hit. 10 points of slashing. All right. Keep going.
I'll use a second attack. I'm being hasted to...
That'll hit again. Tower.
Mm-hmm.
How do you kill the lump of clay?
I am going to imagine that the Avarine's actually, where she's flamed him, it's actually become brittle, like, hardened clay. And when I'm going to come down on the first strike, and it's going to go soft, and then the second strike's going to shatter him.
As the blade comes through, the clay falls apart into many pieces that just start to litter the floor.
Mm-hmm.
The spear that it was holding clangs to the ground with a heavy sound of bronze hitting stone. As this clay guardian dies, the ground underneath Tower, Avarine, and Pijo sinks another 6 inches. You hear another shifting of metal, and then heavy footsteps of something else approaching. So
while that's happening, can I grab the spear and hold it up for someone to grab from above?
she can.
Here, put this in one of the statues, see if it does anything.
I'm gonna pocket some of the clay just because it seems like a cool little trinket to bring home.
Grigori grabs the spear, and Carmen, we can all agree we're going to have to get 4 of these. I don't really want to miss the show. Should we just put this aside and keep watching?
Yeah.
We're just set it down.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll look after it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grigori, where
Don't
do you
worry, Avarine, nothing will happen to this.
where do you
Famous
put
last words.
I'll just put it on the ground behind us, just lengthwise. Just
Okay.
laying on the ground.
within reach of you?
Oh yeah, like my tail is
Okay.
on top of it,
Fair enough. All right, cool.
so it doesn't
Then-
roll around.
After Tower has destroyed that one and everyone throws up that spear, which definitely has that grooved mechanism in it, Zola, another contender, is walking out to the pit, but he's not quite gotten there yet. Anything from you?
I'm gonna Cirque du Soleil this, and I'm going to turn upside down and wrap one of my legs in one of the chains so that my weight is
Okay.
holding me. And I'm going to hold my action to bombard this guy when he comes out.
Okay.
Pretty
Fair
neat,
enough.
Carmen. Right? I mean, that's pretty cool. It's pretty neat.
Grigori, are you doing anything?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean,
Pijo.
I'm improving my relationship with Carmen. Maybe some fist bumps.
Okay. Pijo.
Well, now that Pijo knows that these guys don't play fair, he is going to enter the center area, kind of. Well, I'll step to here, so that not there. Go where I want you. Thank you. So and ready an attack. So when he comes within range, I'm gonna slash with my scimitar.
Okay. Just kind of holding himself up against the wall, ready to go.
Well, I'm gonna actually no, because I don't. I'm still. He still wants to be honorable, so he's gonna go back here. But once he comes into range, so he's not hiding, none of that. But he's gonna still attack.
Fair enough. Carmen, enjoying Grigori's company.
Yeah. No, we're having a good time. But I am going to cast Healing Word on Avery.
Okay.
She's going to do that.
Thank you, Carmen.
Plus, you're welcome.
There you go. So 8 points of healing. That's a perfect heal. All right, Averine. What would you like to do?
I'm readying my shield in case this bastard comes close to me again.
Okay. The clay gladiator is going to step forward. He steps into the arena.
I attack.
Swish, swish. Yep, make your single attack. It's a powerful hit. 23 points of damage.
So reserved attack action. Haste doesn't give you the second.
No, because haste is... what you did was you used your action to ready an attack.
Okay,
But
got it.
you used your reaction to make the attack. All right. So as he steps in, if you could hit him, he can stab up. So
Do I get an attack too because he came into range?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
You were readying something.
Yes. I'm ready to scimitar slash.
That'll hit as well for another 7 points. Right.
Oh, the bless goes onto that too. I just realized it was on there, but yeah, cool.
Bless goes onto the attack, not the not the damage. Okay. So since Zola just attacked him from above, he's then going to start poking Zola above him. 3 attacks. We have an 11, an 18, and an 18.
The 18's hit. I will
Okay.
uncanny dodge the first one.
What's your AC normally?
You
16.
need to use your reaction to uncanny dodge.
Oh yeah.
Ready an action, you use your reaction.
Okay.
So what was the... haste has increased your AC by 2.
Oh, then they still hit it. It is 18 now.
It is 18 now. Okay. All right. Then hitting you with these with his pole, that is 16 points of piercing damage in total. Trying desperately to get you off the ceiling, but failing miserably. You can't do that. So, Tower, what would you like to do?
Tower is going to turn into Cave Bear.
Okay.
You take the whole pit.
Bit of a tight space there. Okay.
Yeah, I got.
Start squawking a little bit.
Bear bomb in the face. And I am going to attack with that.
Okay. So the bear is still hasted and
Yeah.
blessed. Oh.
Is that going to work?
The bless won't automatically add to the wild shaped forms.
Okay.
So we'll just need to remember if you get close to.
I was 25 without needing.
That's gonna hit.
Okay, so 6 points plus 2 because I'm raging. I keep forgetting to add that. Second attack. 24.
Another solid one. Nice.
Slashing plus another
Plus 2
2
because of rage.
rage. Ooh.
And the bear is hasted.
And the bear is hasted, so I'll take another slashing attack.
Okay.
I'll roll the extra d4. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, 3, 17.
17. That would hit, but he will now use his reaction to parry that, and it misses.
Okay.
Okay.
No problem.
Then I think that's it for the cave bear.
Yeah.
All right. And he's used his reaction. Zola.
Well, I'm gonna get
This
you,
guy
you
is
little
now
squirt.
So, what are you going to do?
I'm definitely gonna hit him at least once. Spoke too soon. Try it again.
The 18 will hit.
And then one more time.
23. Okay. Another 18. So that will also hit for another 9.
Great. and then scamper back up that rope.
All right. Grigori.
Zola, may I kill this thing, or are we still doing the Omuan honor thing?
I have no idea anymore.
I'm going to cast Healing Word on Zola. And I'm done.
Thank you, darling.
Then
2, 1.
Bijo.
All right, I'm going to attack with my scimitar. That certainly hits.
That certainly hits.
I'm gonna attack with my scimitar again.
Okay.
That certainly misses.
Certainly does. Natural 1.
Yep. And now I would like to also, with my bonus action, try to claw at it with my talons. Since this is a bonus action attack, do I not get a -2 to my damage? Since it doesn't apply ability modifiers, or does it only not apply them in the positive?
If you make an offhand attack, like 2-weapon fighting,
Yeah.
then it specifically states you don't add your ability modifier to the damage roll. Now, what you're doing is not dual-wielding offhand attack, are you?
Oh, so I wouldn't be able to do it anyway at all.
Yeah, then.
Okay.
Unless you have an ability that says, as a bonus action, you can make an attack with your claws.
I don't.
Then-
So, okay, then never mind. I will just
All right.
then I'll be done.
All right. Avery just kind of pinged you to remind you, Colossus Slayer.
Oh, right. Let me roll that right now. Thank you.
Okay, so it deals an extra 6. Okay. This thing is badly beaten. Carmen, are you going to get involved?
Nope. I'm going to just wait for whoever kills it. I'll then cast some kind of prestidigitation kind of celebration. That's it, really.
Okay. Averine. Okay. Kind of a tight squeeze with the bear right in front of you. I'm going to say that the cave bear's fur gets a bit singed as the flame curls around the outside of it. Unfortunately, a 13 is going to miss.
Power your butts in my face. That's it. That's it.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. The clay gladiator is going to stab at something. Oh, who's it going to stab at? It's going for Bijo. 14,
That's a miss.
26,
That's not a miss.
and a 26.
Oh, that's not a miss either.
Okay, so as he is poking you,
Yeah.
that's a total of 26 points of piercing damage.
So rude. Which I say to him, that is so rude of you. And I kind of swatted him with my wings to get him away.
Towers in. Especially.
I don't know.
So I'll do a white. Someone. Natural 1. Yay. Surely we've got advantage. Take it. Oh, alright, okay, so second attack. I'll have to want a d4. D4. 16.
It's going to miss.
Oh, no. Last attack then. Oh, come on. There we are. There we go.
Zola.
Cutlass, dagger, cutlass. Here's all that.
So the dagger hits. Do you want to roll a sneak attack for the dagger?
There you go.
Okay. As you stab into it with bookmark, how do you want to kill this one? Remember, you're upside down above it.
Yeah.
Drop down.
Yeah, I was about to say, how about we go straight into the top of the head, and then, like, there's a little wedge that gets sliced down to the base of its neck, and then I'll go back up.
Nice. That is a
Bungeeing.
second clay grung gladiator dead. The bronze spear just hitting the ground. You guys do the same thing. Up
Yeah.
goes.
I'll reach around the bear to see if I can grab the spear. Here, put this one in a different soldier's hand, just like the one you did before, but a different soldier.
Sure thing, Averine. You're doing great. Keep it up. Put it on the floor behind me with the other one.
Inside check.
The ground shifts another couple inches, but instead of shifting just 6, this one actually drops a full foot, and you hear more chains begin to drop as 2 clay gladiators approach.
How long has it been since the start of the fight? How many rounds?
3, 4, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, 3.
Just keeping track. After 10, the haste ends and people get lethargic.
So let me roll initiative for these guys.
When the sound of them comes up, Peugeot's going to back to the corner and fly up towards the ceiling and start getting his bow and arrow out instead of the sword.
Okay. Zola, what do you do?
I think I've learned my lesson about readying an attack with my particular set of mechanics. So I think I'm just going to wait.
Okay. Grigori.
They're doing really well, Carmen, don't you think?
They are. They're doing all right. Don't you
Don't-
think we should put these spears in the hands now?
I mean, if it's another trap, if you don't have all 4, I don't want to have problems on both sides. I mean, if they're just facing one thing right now, it seems let's keep it at one problem at a time. Don't you think?
It might make their life. I don't know. It might make their life easier. Do you not think?
It could also make their life much harder.
That's true.
And we're up here. If they get in trouble, we can jump in.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Popcorn?
all right. Yeah, all right. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Well done, Zola. And I cast like this shower of glitter and just celebration. There's noises of like champagne falls in. Woo! Like
Woo!
And that's our turns.
Where'd you guys get popcorn?
Well, Bijou is going to just draw his bow and arrow. I'm not going to ready an attack either. But I am going to peek up and see that Grigori has not moved a single spear. And just shout down, guys, he hasn't put any of the spears in any of the statues. He's totally just sitting there eating popcorn. It's awful. I don't even know what popcorn is, but I want it. And that's all I'm doing for now.
Okay. And Carmen did the thing she already said, so Averine.
I'll wait. I'll not ready an action in case I have to shield.
Okay. The clay gladiator, the one, both of them will in turn step into the room, drop to their knees, and present the spears over open hands.
oh.
Insight check. I'm insight checking.
Insight check the clay golem. Go ahead.
Yes,
The thing that doesn't actually have facial features.
indeed. I'm going to read its body language. I don't know.
17. You have no idea what's going on here.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on here, guys.
These supposedly evil things that you are supposed to fight with honor have just dropped to one knee and presented the spears in hand. Tower, what are you going to do?
I'm going to drop 4. And drop rage. So and takes me. I'm going to use my action to drop my form and my bonus action to drop my rage. So I can't actually do anything. Can I grab? Can I take one of the spears?
Not yet. Zola.
No, I can. I'm hasted. I've got an extra action. So
yeah, you do actually. You've got to use object action. Go ahead.
So I'm going to bow respectfully and take one of the spears in both hands like that and take it away honorably. Yeah, honorable gesture.
As you take it away, he falls to pieces.
Oh.
Zola, what are you gonna do?
Still upside down, but I'll upside downedly grab the spear out of the other one and then use my amazing abs to pull myself up and then continue to climb all the way out of the pit.
Okay. If a clay gladiator could be surprised, it would be surprised that hands came from above it to grab the spear. But you pull the spear away, and yes, it falls apart. As soon as the last of the clay gladiators falls to pieces, the sunken-in ground, that at this point is now 2 foot below where it was at the beginning, rises up 2 foot to get back flush with the corridor as it was. You guys now have all 4 of those spears. What are you going to do?
I'll reach the last one out. So there's someone to grab. Preferably Carmen.
I'll grab it. It's fine.
Pete's just kind of curious about this corridor where they were coming from.
You want to go down there and explore?
I think I do. Just peek around a little bit, just see what's going on. Peeking. Does anything come out and kill me?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Just peeking around.
You look around. Looks like there are 4 cells, each with bars that have lowered themselves. Mm-hmm. Roll a perception check.
There we go. My passive is a 16.
Okay. It's actually really quite boring in here.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna
Not
leave
a lot going on.
with a very dejected look on my face. Like, that was really boring, guys. And can he fit through the holes in the gate to just fly up?
Yes, you can. It's a bit of a squeeze to just fly up. So you'll fly up and then kind of pull yourself through and then go up. All right. So you guys have the spears up at the top.
The sign was juxtaposing those with honor versus those with evil. Were we the baddies in that situation?
I think we're half bad.
I don't like being half bad.
Not half bad, yes.
Half bad is half good.
Oh, good and bad are really just moralistic constructs. I think you did fine.
That sounds like something a bad person would say.
And that sounds like something a self-righteous person who thinks they're a good person would say. But I love you anyway, P. Joe.
It's like...
Grigori presents the spears to Avery. Avery, you have the best understanding, I think, of these things. Where should we put them?
Do the spears, the markings on the spears, are they any different than compared to each other, indicating where the spear should go in this soldier's hand or whatever?
All of the spears look identical. They're made of pure bronze. It's just one big shaft of bronze. But you notice that the grooves down them are only on one side. So
doesn't seem like it matters.
The system only works on one side of the spears. As you look around, roll a investigation check or a perception, either one. Okay, with your investigation, you notice that each of the 4 different statues does have hidden within the hand position a slightly different orientation of the gear mechanism that is in the hand. There is definitely a gear, and it definitely slots in And so that gear controls the orientation of the spear. You have going clockwise from the top right around, so northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. You have them pointed north, east, south, west.
I describe all that. All right, put them where they belong.
Who puts what where?
Do you wish to do this together? Should we do this at the same time? Is what I said.
Sure, on the count
Yeah,
of 3.
it's fine.
Real quick, call back to the relief that we found in the corridor. There was one with 8 Omun warriors, right?
4. So it was 4 Omun warriors who had lost the spears to these 4 other warriors, and then there was one that had 4 warriors with spears.
So those 4 other warriors, what were they doing? Were they pointing their spears at the unspeared guys?
So the one with the picture of 8 people on it, the 4 people that had spears were just holding the spears straight up, as if to hold them.
Okay, never mind then. It doesn't give me anything.
All right. So you all raise the spears, put them over each of the slots one by one, and you ready? 3, 2, 1.
When you do that, everyone just step away quickly afterwards. Carry on.
Okay. You slide the spears in, and you'll hear the clicking sound as you match the gear system. It starts pushing in. When the final one stops clicking, you watch as the crystalline structure rotates with the puzzle cube inside of it. The puzzle actually seems to lift up with the crystal lid off above, and then it drops down, leaving the lid suspended above. You can now reach in and grab the puzzle cube.
I grab the puzzle cube.
You now have Shigambi's puzzle cube. You see the carving of the Kamadan on it. 2 out of 9. Done.
Hey! Cool.
Well done, Averine. Very, very smart.
I think Zola figured out the spears were keys.
It's the legend of the 9 gods. Shigambi made a holy spear. And Nang Nang, the one depicted in the relief, is the one that stole it. And now, well, not now because they're gone, but it used to be that they chased each other across the sky forever.
And the last place we had to fight the frog creature. I'm surprised we haven't fought this serpentine jaguar creature.
Oh no, Shigambi's not like that. I don't think she is anyways. She's more of the type to lord over the fight. Less so the one that actually gets involved.
Did you have to fight the frog monster?
Yes.
It was self-defense.
Just saying.
We were trying very simply to not bother anything, and it just slurped out of the water and attacked.
It was obviously evil. Obviously, we had to put it down.
Obviously.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, so your time spent in there investigating, looking around the ruins of this place. You've done a couple things. It's mid-afternoon, I would say, at this point. You're welcome to take a breather. You're welcome to stop and relax.
short rest, perhaps.
If you'd like to.
I can do.
Is it wise to stay in this area? Everybody seems to be looking for these things. We may have company. Should we move out to a different location and then rest?
Perhaps we should speak with our compatriot outside.
I'm sure he's curious. Ooper.
Hey, yes?
We solved this mystery. This other shrine. We fought 4 gladiators made of clay, and took their spears and put them into statues that were missing their spears.
That makes sense.
Do you have any words of wisdom or hindsight that we might be able to apply from this one to the next one? Or is there anything you'd like to investigate while we're here?
What was the... How did the shrine coincide with the legend?
You're free
interested
you're
to
free
see
to
it.
walk inside and investigate. There do not appear to be any traps or any dangers at the moment.
He's going to roll an insight check on you. Mm. That's okay. You're the ones that can go inside. Just tell me about it.
Well, Zola suggested that that this god crafted a spear, and it was stolen by a frog god. So the spears were the key.
Turning the spears made a difference. Okay. That's good to know. So, what are you doing now?
As
We're in the mood for a rest, but not here.
Okay.
We're
Shall we shelter
not
back?
far from the old camp.
Okay, let's double back.
Yes.
we don't have any reason to believe anyone knows we were there. This should be safe. As safe as Omu can be.
Okay. Then you guys head back towards the little hideout that you had decided upon, that you would come upon. Getting there doesn't take you much time or effort, really, and you walk carefully through the ruins, avoiding pit traps, avoiding some of the dangers. You will start seeing that as the sun is moving further towards the west, shadows are starting to grow and get thicker. A couple bugs are starting to come out to visit you all.
Dinner.
All right. How long are you going to stay in there?
What time is it when we get there?
Oh, mid-afternoon, I would say. You got a couple hours before you need to rest. Well, before sundown, rather.
Just enough for a short rest, and then to the next shrine.
Which shrine should we approach now?
Before we go,
My thinking is we go towards number 10, marked strangely on the map, and then perhaps should we progress to the north and find a location to stay afterwards? we
So
seem
smart.
to think that the enemy forces are within the circle.
No more numbers.
Tower, I
Given
think
the
this
dangers,
is a wise.
no, given the dangers of crossing a river, I think that is a prudent course of action. And as we've
I never
already, yes, Bijo.
See, I never understood why people thought crossing rivers was so dangerous. You just fly over. I don't see what the risk is.
Well, if that's the case, while we rest,
turn
would you
into a
care
fish
to?
in it? I do not understand.
While we rest, perhaps you'd care to go examine that temple in the middle of the lava pit. You could just fly over there and check it out.
I mean, frankly, if one of us needs to rest after that last situation, I think it's this guy. Well, one of us got stabbed by a spear. The other one ate magical snacks.
I'm just playing a little tune for you while we're having a little rest.
Very pleasant.
How much does that add to our the Song of Rest?
Adds 1d6. Oh no, what is your bardic inspiration die? I think. You get to roll the bardic inspiration.
Oh,
Oh no, it is just 1d6. Yeah, because you're. So yeah, everyone can add 1d6 when they spend hit dice.
All right.
Zola, given what happened with the Yuan Ti we met,
Okay.
do you think we could just walk plainly down the wall towards the next altar, or do we need to continue to be stealthy?
I'm favoring stealth, but not because of those particular UNT. I am favoring stealth because of the other faction of Thayans that like to fight this faction of UNT. So
Well,
just staying out of it in general, I think, would be cleaner.
I can wear the red robes, you are the Yuan Ti, and where we run across, we can play one against the other. That's an option.
It's a riskier option.
Indeed, but a faster one.
Okay.
I'm still favoring stealth.
So everyone feels a little bit rested after spending an hour stitching together your wounds, recuperating. So are you headed up towards the one that seems to be just off the side of the walkway, the main space?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we're going to take a beeline wide of the main track because that's where they seem to be patrolling.
Yeah.
So like hugging the cliff face and then the river, and guiding ourselves in.
Okay.
And as we cross, as we walk past these buildings, I'll say, Tower, what about that door? Tower, what about that door?
Still looking for words.
There are trees. Could just be a hard tree out there.
There are plenty of trees. Most materials that would have been crafted out of organic material, like doors made out of wood, would have eroded over the 1,000 years since they were crafted into place. But plenty of trees and vines have grown up in their spaces. As you guys progress up, are you doing so stealthily? Regardless of which, everyone has to roll perception checks anyway. So perception checks first to see if you can see anyone else around you.
If we're moving stealthily, is Tower going to use without a trace? Or past that trace?
Does this count as being in the jungle or the forest for the purposes of my natural explorer trait, since we're in a city in the jungle? Because it's kind of overgrown, but it is a city, so I'd get that it wouldn't count.
I'll say it does.
Okay. Then that's +3 onto whatever. So that's 25.
Okay. As you guys make your way up this path, you'll walk towards, you'll walk pretty much straight in that direction, but you're guiding around, trying to avoid clearly open spaces. You will be able to see the bridge that has been set up right here. A fallen tree has been obviously placed across the bridge here. It is a nice big, thick tree, but it's also latched with a couple more smaller trees that have all positioned themselves across the water. It looks like someone's purposefully built a bridge here. You then, because you were choosing to not go over it, but I'm just letting you see that that's what you can see. You walk past it, and you'll end up crossing paths with a campsite. As you make your way closer to about here, you'll spot, amid the ruins around here, is an abandoned campsite. You can see some belongings, some crates, boxes, some cloth, maybe some bags off to one side, all around a fire pit that has It has a few embers still burning in it, but not many, indicating it's been quite a while since it was last being lit. At the center of the camp, you see a scrap of dirty yellow cloth hanging from a wooden flagpole. What would you guys do as you stumble upon this campsite that seems deserted?
Is this campsite like 2 or 3 people big, or like with possessions and stuff, a much larger group?
Roll a perception check, specifically for the camp. Your passive is 11.
I guess so.
It's not a large campsite, so it's nothing for a large army, but it could fend for some anywhere between like 3 and 12 people.
I don't. The Thayans that came down last night, for that they came down from this direction. That was 8-9 hours ago. They may have camped here. They may have camped somewhere else. I'm no woodsman to say, but if this was their campsite, they won't miss it if any of this stuff goes missing.
Somebody who lives in the woods and camps quite a lot. Is there any symbolism for having a flag or a bit of cloth on a pole? Is there any practical reason for that?
So you kind of along the right kind of lines, thinking about the way in which you guys have been camping out when you've been in the woods, and you notice a lot of similarities between the kind of campsites that you guys set and the kind of campsites that you as a group of adventurers would be preparing. There are definitely clear and defined locations where some people slept in small little groups, and after a bit of looking, you can make the assumption that this was actually a similarly sized group of individuals. The only reason why anyone would set a banner is if they are part of a company. That's the only reason you can think of.
Okay.
Can I have a closer look at that banner or the yellow piece of cloth?
Yes, you can. Roll an investigation check.
23.
Okay.
Ooh.
You will actually find that attached to the back of the banner is a little pocket where some important belongings would have been kept. And in it appears to be a letter.
Oh.
You pull out the letter, read it. Okay. Would you like to read the letter?
Sure. Rue. Devlin has led on the Eye of Zoltek, has a lead on the Eye of Zoltek. The old goat found an obelisk in the north that marks the entrance to the Tomb of the 9 Gods. The eye must be within, but the door is magically locked. We think the secret to opening it lies in the holy shrines. We're headed into the ruins to check them out. God's willing, we'll be back tonight. Raznizi's servant people are on the prowl, so be careful. If you get into trouble, sound the swan horn twice, and we'll come running. You're for the yellow banner, Lord Brixton.
It seems that we may have allies. Or at least people that oppose UNT, Raznizi's people.
Oh, it sounds as though these people are simply trying to get in. Raznizi's trying to get in. The Red Wizards are trying to get in. We are trying to get in. That does not mean anyone is friendly or anyone are allies.
Do we know anything about the other banner?
Roll a history or trying to think of any other skills that would help with this particular manner.
27.
Okay. Right. Averine, having spent a little bit more time in Chult than anyone else, you would have heard of these guys in passing. The Company of the Yellow Banner is a wannabe adventurers guild. It is a group of adventurers that have grouped together for the purpose of completing tasks for coin. And they were looking for work in Port Nine Zaro the day you were headed out to leave. So it would appear they got some form of job that has brought them down here.
With that 27 and then Grigori's 21, do we know what the Eye of Zoltek is?
Well, I would say at least Grigori's noticed this isn't the first treasure he has now heard of that is within the tomb.
Well, sure. I already know that the princess wants the skull chalice of yeah, that one.
I don't know what you're talking about. You have to finish the words.
The skull chalice of Chagakare. Chagakare. It's almost as bad as languages that have the clicking. Oh, actually, that's what it is. It's the skull chalice of
That's what it is.
Gagare. Ah, there we
you
go. Gotcha. Okay.
So it seems like there are many noticeable treasures that may be within the tomb.
So the Yellow Banner folk were adventurers, looking like they're after some treasures in the tomb. Hired adventurers, probably not independently here of their own accord.
You're muted, Matthew.
Anyone who's foolish enough to leave their equipment behind has abandoned it, so we ought not to leave it for the UNT to retrieve.
Who's checking equipment?
See if they have any of the puzzle cubes.
So, looking around their loot, they don't seem to have any puzzle cubes.
See if they have any very, very rare and priceless woods.
As this is an adventuring party that have made their way through the jungles of Chult, exploring and doing work, I would like one of you to roll a D100.
Oh, not high.
No, not me.
I'll do it.
Are you sure?
Someone roll.
Oh, that's classic
I'll do
PG.
it.
Me.
Yeah.
I'm on it. Shiny.
Okay.
Exactly. D100. Let's go. 33. What'd I find?
33. Okay. 1 second.
Shiny, shiny, shiny. I found a cat.
Oh,
The cat's out of the bag.
Ayo.
It's a bag of little critters.
all right. So, with a 33, you find a little pouch that appears to contain approximately 15. Well, it contains exactly 15, but 15 gems that seem to be worth approximately 50 gold each.
I'm just going to pocket that. That's just going to go right here. Didn't find anything, guys.
I mean,
We're
that's a
good.
perception check versus a sleight of hand check, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do we do that?
Grigori's definitely watching as you're rifling through stuff.
Oh, gosh.
It's pretty clear.
I'm going to try to roll a deception with my -1. Just to see how badly I'm lying.
Yeah, there's no way you're getting anything past these guys. They have been in the jungle for a while. They are looking for that treasure.
Piju, I would like to see what you found.
Well, I mean, I thought I said I didn't find anything.
I think I heard that you found something, Piju.
Well, maybe
That
you
is what I
found-
heard.
Maybe
Okay.
you found something you don't think has value, but maybe on an examination it might have value to another of us.
I found a bag of sparklies. And I'm going to hold them out and show them the sparklies from the bag.
Contained with the bag of sparklies are 3 vials of something.
Oh.
I didn't see those. I just saw the sparklies, guys. I don't know what those are.
We're
Do you
gonna look
wanna
at the vials.
Find out what those.
looks
I'm
at the
gonna reach in
vial.
then. Yeah. And look at it. What does it look like?
What the color?
Is there like a label on it? You know.
There's no label on
EDA
it, but they do look like 3 potion vials. Pop the cork, give him a little bit of a sniff. You guys have 3 potions of greater healing.
Ooh.
Might come in handy.
Those are clever adventurers.
It's like that save point just before anything moves on further. You know, when
Yeah.
the game gives a whole bunch of healing potions, you know, get ready. And so we are going to get ready, but we're going to take a 15-minute break right now. On your screen, you're going to see a Who's That Monster for this week's challenge. So think back to the episode from last week and type in what monster you think that is. And we'll see you in 15 minutes. Okay? Bye. Welcome back, everyone, after the break. Thanks for sticking with us. All right, so the answer to the breaks, Who's That Monster, is, drum roll. There we go. It is the Froggermoth. Ta-da! This was the monster that swallowed
Yay.
Carmen last week.
Yeah.
Finally, someone else.
All right. So we jump back into our adventure. These guys found themselves a little camping spot. Apparently there is another adventuring party that have traveled through this area that have stopped by on this particular spot at one point and then moved on past it. What would you guys like to do? You are just outside the next shrine. Right now, everything seems to be fairly calm.
Let's check it out. Press onward.
Moving on to the shrine, or are you going to do anything else?
Peter's gonna do the thing where he like walks forward and kind of looks behind, like maybe.
So that was a no on the super rare and precious woods, right? Just
There are some very rare. All right. You're trying to get 5,000 gold worth of rare items, right?
yes,
Okay. All right.
to craft a chest out of.
So, out of the course of what you've been doing, picking up bits of wood here and there, grabbing what you could from the campsite, you have collected 500 gold worth of rare items. Okay.
Thank you.
Of course,
Everyone's
it
gonna turn into a
requires.
hoarder.
It required Tower's help.
Thank you, Tower. You have a keen eye for this sort of thing.
Is fine. What are you making?
I'm going to make a chest.
What
You
is
don't
this?
need expensive wood for the chest.
It's going to be a very expensive chest.
I
But if you
see.
take a normal chest, put very expensive things in it, and now you have a very expensive chest. This does not seem overly complicated.
You have a very inexpensive chest containing very expensive items.
If all you're trying to make is an expensive chest. My point being, I understand you're trying to make something, but why?
It's a component in a spell I'm working on.
Ah,
I see. Is it urgent that you require this stuff?
Well, I think the urgency is in defeating this soulmonger machine. And nothing takes priority or precedent above that. But this is an item that may help bear the ring. And that is its intent, or my intent for it.
what magical effect is this chest supposed to have?
It will secret it away in another plane.
Almost exactly like the bag that Grigori carries.
Differently than your device, Grigori.
Much more expensively.
Very much more expensively.
Okay. So, moving through the grounds, you will continue making your way through the ruins, and you will come upon yet one more Ruin, seems like you're having a fairly productive day out of this day. So you keep charging on. This ruin looks like almost like a cathedral of sorts by the way that it's positioned, with a large entryway, and then it kind of spikes out at the back. As you approach, you can see that the cracked monoliths around the outside all seem to show depictions and images of a rabbit with a horn in its head.
Oh.
As you approach, you will even see a tiny little rabbit. I'm going to move you over to the map, so don't worry. There's a tiny little rabbit that just kind of hops past your position with a little horn. It looks up at you, shocked a little bit, and then keeps running off around the side, jumps into its little hole, and disappears.
Did I just see a rabbit with a horn on its head?
Well, I just saw a rabbit with a horn on its head.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen such a rabbit before?
What would we need to?
History or survival? But Zola, go ahead.
I believe this is probably going to be the Shrine of Ijin.
Tell us,
As you-
Jin Mapenzi.
Ijin is an almirage, which is what that is. Presumably, I've never seen one in real life, but I've seen pictures.
Okay.
Do you
So,
know anything
as
else
you
about this youth
approach-
person?
Looking at the obelisks, the imagery on them does depict the horned rabbit charging at a small feral-looking bear.
In the story, when Obolaka was creating a stew that would please Ubtao, Ijin snuck in recklessness. That is the story.
Sounds
This
like
one
my kind of
seems
guy.
perfect if we suited to you towards you, Pijo.
I'm on it.
And as as you read the inscriptions, the old Omuan text, Ufbert reads aloud. Ijin teaches us to take the path least expected. In front of you, you see this door that has that depiction again of an almirage, two almirage at this point, with their horns kind of pointed together, touching the central point where the door would open.
Maybe there's access to the roof, Pijo. Do you wish to have a look?
But first, I want to check out where the almirage went in on the side.
He went and jumped down a little rabbit hole.
Yeah, I want to
Would you like
look
to
at the
follow
rabbit
him?
hole. I mean, I'm sure I can't fit into the rabbit hole, but I want to see what I see over there.
Roll a perception check.
Yeah. And this has a +3, being in the junglies.
As you stick your face right up against the rabbit hole, looking in to see where it went, you have barely a moment to watch as a spiral horn comes launching towards you.
No! So rude. Do I get any opportunity to dodge from this spiral horn?
Does a 16 hit you?
It does not.
And you just dodge out of the way as the tiny little almirage, with anger in its eyes, looks up at you.
I'm not gonna make that noise back at it. Oh, well, so I have animal handling. Is this an animal? I'm gonna try to use animal handling to like coax it out kindly.
Roll an
That
animal.
is so adorable.
Such a cute
Little almirage.
I don't think this is actually an animal per things, but Pijo's gonna try.
How can assist him?
Yes, you can. All right. After calming it down, after it felt like you were intruding upon its home, it is definitely an animal. In fact, it is a beast. It is a
Ooh.
beast form that that Tower could easily if he wanted to. It's a CR0 creature, so there would be very little purpose to it. But
Super high charisma, though.
Super vicious. Super vicious with that horn.
Yep.
Charges back.
So it calms down eventually. We'll scurry out and investigate.
Not knowing if it can actually understand anything I say, I'm just gonna like squat down and get on kind of on its level, keeping a fair distance from it. Like, hey, we are trying to find a way in there. We don't want to use the doors though because they look way too heavy for us. Is there a different way that you can help us out? Let us find to get in there? Maybe, I don't know.
Tower will reiterate that.
It kind of turns its head. Yeah, Tower?
Tower will reiterate that using his racial trait, speech, and beast of leaf. You can communicate through not understanding beasts. Beasts and plants have advantage on charisma checks to influence them. I can communicate with them, but not understand them.
You can communicate with beasts and plants, and you have advantage on charisma checks to influence them. So you can do a charisma check and influence.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say
as you reiterate everything, but you get a lot more physical about it. And you just start to describe a little bit more about it in a way that the animal could understand, as it doesn't understand the words.
Mm-hmm.
It looks up at you, and it'll scurry over towards the entrance, tap it with its horn, and then scurry back to its little hubby hole. That's it.
It seems that this is the way in.
It seems the previous two required a great deal of thought and planning. Perhaps we ought to embrace the nature of this particular god and just kick down the doors and go in recklessly.
Before we do that, that's a good idea. But before we do that, I'm going to take a look around the courtyard just to double check and make sure there is no other anything that could be possibly a secret entrance or something.
Yeah, can we walk around the building?
I'll fly around the top this time.
Yeah. So easily you guys can confirm that there isn't any additional way of entering the temple, entering the shrine.
Okay, done.
Leading you to believe that the inscription might not necessarily mean the way in, but once you're in there.
Tower, perhaps you could be some giant beast and just kick those doors down, suddenly and unexpectedly and recklessly.
Okay, I'm out of rage. Today.
Is there anything before though? If you start kicking it down, is there any signs, any handles, any patterns?
The horns on the carvings inside are actually things that you can grab hold of and pull to open the doors.
Okay.
So you got little almirages with their horns poked in towards the opening of the door.
Okay.
Those are actually handles that you can pull.
Okay. So it might just, the door just might open anyway.
Tower's going to just try and pull the door open.
And you do so. The door will pull open. As you do so, you see a 10-foot wide hallway which strikes off into the gloom. Its carved floor has pictures on it. And we're actually going to move to a different map for the sake of this. So you find yourselves in front of this 10-foot wide, so each of these squares is 2.5 foot. Okay? And I think that's not right. Yeah, so the distance is a bit off with this map, so ignore the distance ruler. But each square is 2.5 foot wide square path that you have in front of you. What do you choose to do?
What's on the other side of the path?
It's just an opening. The opening then splits off into different corridors.
Okay.
Are there any
gonna
traps on the walls?
Roll a perception check. There is quite clearly a whole bunch of holes all dotted around the side of the wall, ready to shoot something out.
Traps. Traps.
Traps all over the place.
So the question is, how do we not get hurt by the traps?
Zola, do you believe in this? Do you believe in the things outside? Do you believe all this about being reckless and taking the characteristic of this deity?
Yeah, but that could mean a couple of different things. It could mean, like, stay off of the pictures with the Mirage. It could mean just don't go to any single image twice. It could mean...
I'm inclined to just go across as quickly as we can. Or just have Pijo fly across.
That's what my thought is. I can just fly across.
That wouldn't be reckless. That would be very prudent and what I'm inclined to do.
Give him like a rope to attach to the other side of the wall or something, or how are the rest of us going to get over there?
Well,
Could I
get the cube? It doesn't matter.
Could Pijo ferry them across one at a time?
Does Pijo have the strength to be able to do so?
Well, probably not. I mean, my strength is 7. It's not good. But yeah, I think that's the thing.
Pijo, why don't you just fly across and see if you make it across without incident?
Yeah, I guess I'll do that. I was about to say I was going to do that anyway, so that
Okay.
that works.
Pijo, so you begin to fly up and move across.
Yeah, I'm thinking about using, I don't know, since we're not in combat, if I can use a dodge action instead of dashing so that I can, not...
Ready for something to hit you. That gives it disadvantage if it was to hit you.
Since we're not in initiative, I don't know if that really
You can do
translates. Yeah.
You can carefully fly through it.
Yeah. Attempting to weave around. So I'm just going to move Pijo over here and take whatever. And I have my shield in one hand too, just for good measure.
Okay. As you fly across, nothing seems to happen. Everything seems fine. You travel across without any issue.
Everything seemed to go fine, guys. Nothing hurt me yet.
Well, keep going then. See if you can find the cube. We'll wait here.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna keep on going. We're good. Okay. Let's. Got this.
Pijo is going to go by himself. We'll.
And this is when.
Back to the map.
Is that Greco I see on the horizon?
Why, hello, friends.
You might
I
need
see.
to be.
Yeah. Right.
So, you guys find yourselves here. Everyone else staying back. Pijo.
Can Tower's smarter than Tyres? Is there so something that Casey, right, in a wisdom kind of sense? Is there a pattern where what Casey just said? Is it a pattern where you're trying to get across and not go on the same thing more than once?
There's only one way to find out.
Well, so here's.
Could I roll something to see if the Tower could figure out a path that I can't seem to figure out right now?
I see
sure.
at least.
Roll
I
an
see at
intelligence
least
check.
8. I see at least 8 different
Any
symbols.
which type of intelligence? Just a straight out intelligence check?
Just a straight up intelligence. See if you can figure this out.
There are 8
on the other
rows.
There are 8 rows of squares. There are a bunch of different creatures on there. You have giraffe, warthog, zebra, Almirage, Tiger, Monkey, Dragonfly, Hawk. Yeah, that's it.
There is only one row. The lefternmost row from top to bottom has no duplicates. Every other row does have duplicates.
I'm happy to try it. I'm resistant to the things that are probably going to come out of those walls.
You mean like arrows?
Poisoned arrows.
Poisonous arrows.
Okay.
Acid arrows this time, not poison.
Oh, I hope not.
Okay. So, you're going to take those steps.
Yep, I'm going to do it.
Cool.
I'm going to hop onto that Almirage.
Okay. You hop onto the Almirage, and actually, something quite convenient happens. Roll 2d10. You gain 15 temporary hit points.
Oh, I feel amazing, guys. I really like Almirages now.
So, you're going to keep going up that straight line?
Yeah. Let's do it. Giraffe.
Okay. Then you go Almirage, Giraffe, Warthog, Dragonfly, Monkey, Zebra, Tiger, Hawk, and off to the other side without drawing any poison darts.
Woo!
Ooh.
He's just gonna high five Zola with his wing.
However, everyone notices that all of the steps that she has stepped on are sunken in ever so slightly compared to everything else.
Oh.
Tetris.
You know, Grigori is gonna follow and step on that first one as well.
Okay. "19, 21, 17, and 12. Do they hit you?
The 12
19,
misses.
21, 17, and 12.
The 12 misses.
Okay. All right. As you step onto the same tile that Zola had stepped on previously, darts immediately shoot out straight towards you. You will take, since 3 hit you, you'll take 6 points of piercing damage, and I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
My squiggly spoosh.
What?
My squiggly spoosh.
Okay. With an 11, unfortunately, you do fail. You will take an additional... Actually, roll 2 more con saves. You roll 1 for each dart.
One for each dart. Ooh!
Oh no.
Okay, so you fail 3 times.
What's
which
happening?
means you take an additional 28 points of poison damage. Ouch.
Addition to what?
The original piercing damage.
Grigori, step back. Come back. Come back.
You gotta be reckless. You gotta just keep chugging.
Being full of poison, he's actually going to stumble forward up to the right onto the zebra.
Okay. So Almirage to Zebra. You're fine. You're good.
Stumble forward to the eagle.
Everything's good.
Just going to straight line that one.
So you're stepping on an Almirage a second time?
Yep.
Clunk, 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 clunk.
23, 22, 9, and 9.
You know, I dodged half of those.
Okay. So
Yeah.
as these ones hit you, you'll take 4 points of piercing damage and roll 2 more con saves.
All right.
How many hit points do you have total?
12 left now.
You succeeded both of them, so you only take half damage and take 8 points of poison damage.
4.
Okay, so you went Almirage, Zebra, Hawk, Almirage.
Right.
Where are you going now?
Take a potion.
He's going to sidestep over to the warthog.
Warthog. Okay.
and then kitty corner over to the tiger,
Okay.
and then not going back to the little bunny with the horn to the dragonfly,
Yep, this is the first time you stepped on a dragonfly.
and then sidestep over to the monkey.
Okay. Now what are you doing?
I gotta go to the giraffe because I'm not gonna double step on that dragonfly or that
Jump,
Almar.
Gregory. Jump.
You step on the giraffe, you're
Yeah.
fine. You hop off, you're good.
Yeah.
Oof. As he steps across, all of the tiles that he had stepped on and the ones Zola had stepped on all reset.
That hardly seems fair.
How you doing, friend?
I
So
don't
do the
answer.
rest of you want to cross?
No.
I don't know if this is how much more wild shaping Tower has left, but would it be possible for you to spider across? I don't know if you want to use up one of your things
Yes.
for that. I don't know if that.
I can do this. Perhaps.
I can
Well,
explore
perhaps.
further first.
Oh, I've got an idea.
I have an idea.
Well, tell us.
Does somebody want to hug my spider form while I move across? And then we have one space that can go down the alley.
I can fly.
Then let's do this. Averin, you can go down the left. I will change spider form, and Carmen can fly across.
Well, if you can carry me in your spider form, I'd prefer that than potentially setting up any more traps.
I am not 100% sure that my spider form will not cause the traps to go off. You
I
are
am not
pretty sure.
100% sure that I'll make it across unscathed. So I am
If-
fine.
what
If
Very-
you are willing to take the risk, I am willing to carry.
I could make you levitate, and when I fly, I could. Can I guide
Push
you
you.
along? Yeah, I just push Averine around while she's just floating in midair, so she doesn't touch anything.
Well, you could
Like a conga, like a midair
You could-
conga.
You could levitate Tower. Tower could carry Averine. You could push us both. No, you can't concentrate on both.
Oh,
Concentration.
But you could just push us across, and we just carry on going. I think
Could-
that's how it works, doesn't it?
could I come back? I don't know if Peter wants to.
You can't carry me.
If you just pushed us across, we would just float across and then end it at the other end, and then you could fly across.
You're trusting Carmen to be able to push Tower.
Yeah,
But you're in
it's
midair.
like complete frictionless. I would be like a balloon, and you just push me.
Can
And
I
then
push the
float
big
down
balloon
and
Tower?
hit the panel.
I'm considering a conservation of resources, and if Tower, you're able to carry me across, then perhaps you could come back and then carry Carmen, so we'd only expend one thing in order to get across.
We could try this. It's just fine, and I only need a short rest to be able to change shapes again as well. All right, so I'll white check into a spider.
Okay. As you shift into the spider form, you'll take Averine across. Everything's fine. You move back, grab Carmen, move across. You're fine. You manage to circumvent the trap relatively unscathed.
How you doing, Grigori?
Pulling darts out of him. Sorry.
So
Um,
let's go back over here. The tower is now in spider form. And everyone else is over there with him.
I'll cast Healing Spirit so Grigori can get his hit points back.
While Grigori wants that, may I, for meta game reasons,
Okay.
ask that you don't?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
I'll undo that.
Okay. So before you all appears to be just splitting corridors that break off and turn.
I'm gonna go.
Which
on
way are
ahead.
you going to go?
Peugeot's logic is that he needs to be reckless, so he's going through the spooky spider webs.
Okay.
tower is getting on the ceiling and following people.
Not having had great experience following somebody else, Grigori's gonna go down the left corridor.
Okay. So it's quite a squeeze. I am going to shrink the spider's size down a little bit. You are still a little bit bigger than Zola's token. All right, so Pijo goes down one side, Grigori goes down the other.
I'll be following Grigori. Not gonna leave him alone.
Okay. Fair
I'll
enough.
follow
Pijo,
Fiji.
what are you doing there?
I'm looking around, kind of following the curvature of the area. Do I
So
see anything from here?
It's just the corridors keep splitting and turning and moving in odd directions. You are definitely within some form of maze
Oh, good.
like structure.
Doop, doop, doop.
Everything seems fine as you move around.
All right, let me go up to this corner. Okay.
You're good. You turn. Looking good so far.
Oh, I found a fork.
Where are you gonna go, Pijo?
I'm gonna turn to the giant spider that's been following me. Be like, what do you think? Left or right?
I think that way. I'm
See.
gonna have a sense that let's go right.
Okay. I will continue along. Anything bad happening yet?
No. You seem to be doing a pretty good job.
All right. Bad things. Let's not happen now.
As you follow that corridor, keep moving, you'll turn and you'll see a door.
A door. Ooh. Is there anything on the door, like pictures or something?
Nope. Just a stone door.
Well, I'm going to...
So you guys are there. We're going to pause for a moment.
Okay.
Grigori, Zola, Averine. Where are you going?
Wandering down the creepy tunnel, using a little bit of prestidigitation and fire to burn away the cobwebs as we go.
Is this wise?
It
Did we-
seems reckless.
Inadvertently split the pie. That seems like
We
the
just
most reckless.
split the
That's great. So one of us is going to find the puzzle solution, and one of us is going to get killed by like a minotaur.
I'm staying back. That way, if need be, I can switch to whichever one requires assistance that I may or may not be able to give anyway. So.
Well, Zola, we could certainly go with everyone else, but that wouldn't be in any way reckless.
Yeah.
It would be too secure that way, don't you think?
I don't know. Sometimes you think things about these shrines I've found out, and it's not what you initially think. So.
Indeed. Left or right?
Grigori. Where are you going?
I was going to ask Zola if you prefer left or right.
We started out left. Let's keep going left.
All right, left it is. Checking for traps. How's it go?
Roll a perception check. Okay, Grigori, as you step there, you turn to look around the corner, and you see a hole in the wall directly ahead of you. It seems to be about 3 foot off the ground. A gap maybe 2 inches wide that seems to just disappear into the stonework. You can see that quite clearly.
How big is the hole? The diameter of it?
It's actually like 3 feet wide, 2 inches thick, and it's raised at about 3 foot above the floor.
So I guess I'm trying to understand. It's in the wall, there's a hole.
In the wall, there is a
Like
hole.
a slot.
Like a
Like
slot.
a mail slot.
Yes. You can see it.
If we can sit here and just think about this for a minute and go back to Pijo, that'd be great.
Are you going to stay there for a minute?
Yeah, I'm gonna, before I step forward, I'm gonna look at that and try to figure out what it is.
Okay. You step forward.
Oh, I'm not stepping forward. I'm not stepping forward at all. I'm looking at it from a distance.
Okay. Looking at it from a distance. Leaning in to look, everything seems normal. I mean, your perception check looks fairly substandard. You can't really see into the hole.
Sure.
It's struggling a little bit. Does a 15 hit you?
My AC is 15.
Then a blade shoots out of the hole.
Oof.
Straight towards you at waist height. Ooh. You take 11 points of slashing damage.
Grigori.
I go down.
Zola, from around the corner where you're positioned, you would hear and see Grigori suddenly fall, arm out,
I'll roll my eyes, then shuffle up, and then grab him by the robes, start dragging him back.
Okay.
On the start of my turn, let me know when it comes back to the start of my turn.
It comes back to your start of your turn within a few seconds.
Demands of Nasus on Zola.
Yep.
I gain 10 hit points.
And Zola takes 10.
No,
Ah!
I start at 0, right? So I go up to just 10.
Yep, go up to 10.
Okay.
Good.
Does that come out of the temporary, though, not the actual hit points?
Technically,
Comes
yes.
out of temper. Yep.
All right, teams, check in. How are we doing?
Can we hear that from where we are? There's a door. It's stone.
Grigori went down, but he's back up again.
Perhaps we should go back and tell Averine that this particular corridor is a dead end.
I really don't think that you should lead on these kinds of things.
Oh, well, after you, my dear.
That
After
would
you.
be better.
Okay. Now with Zola, with your passive perception of 19, leading the way, you make your way through the corridors, or are you going to go back?
Well, it's up to Grigori. He's the one that's...
Oh, let's carry on.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Fortune favors the bold.
Zola and Grigori, I just checking in. How's it going?
It's great fun.
Piju's found a door.
We've only found a dead end. Nothing to report yet.
Carry on.
Okay. Turning around corridors, keep on moving. You turn again, it'll split at the end, going left and right. With your passive perception, you kind of poke your head around the corner. The path to the right has another of those slits.
And to the left, nothing.
Nothing. It
Okay.
turns again.
Oh, it turns again.
Yep. So if you step out, you'll notice, oh, it doubles back twice. That side has the slit. That side doesn't.
All right, going down the
But
non...
that double. Yep.
Yeah.
Carefully looking around, taking your time, Zola is able to see all the dangers in this path as she's leading. So no dangers. You'll turn around the corner. You'll see just off to the side, there's a door.
Got a second door!
Okay. So this all kind of happens. Everyone's moving at different paces and whatnot. So Pijo and everyone has arrived at their door. Zola and Grigori are about to arrive at their door. Avarine's still staying back. This is time for everyone. What is anyone doing?
I think we should open the door.
Door opening time.
Zola,
You're gonna-
I think we should open the door.
Yeah.
Gonna shield up and just kind of like push the door open. See if it does open, or pull the door open if that is the way it prefers to go.
You begin to pull the door. You can pull. It doesn't seem to want to move.
Okay. I'm gonna try harder.
You keep trying. It doesn't seem to want to move. Roll an athletics check.
Oh, see, this is why I trained in athletics, because then now it's a +1 instead of a -2. Y'all said it. It's a bad idea.
You say that and you jinx your roll.
Yeah, I know.
You know this, right? Like, Roll20 can hear you.
Hey!
With a 19, you actually do manage to pull and shift the door. You break it open.
Yeah.
Reveals a wide open chamber with a stone set on a pedestal.
Okay.
Okay. There is a door on the other side, though. Zola, are you opening your door?
Yeah, but I'm going to try to initially open it standing to the side of it. Just
Okay.
in case.
Fair enough. Then you try to pull. Same thing. Unable to move it. Roll an athletics check.
Hearing somebody.
Can
I'm
I
assuming-
assist her? Oh,
She'll struggle. You'll need
Am
to
I-
help if she tries again.
Do I hear
Alright,
somebody
I'll-
struggling with the door opposite
I'll
me
just
right
I'll
now?
just try to open it. I'll just be like, I got this. I got this.
Maybe both of us at the same time.
Okay.
Okay.
Here,
One
yeah,
of
right?
you roll it with advantage.
I will help.
And yes,
Zola.
Pijo, you can hear people struggling with the door.
I'm going to take out my bow and arrow. I'm not readying an action, but I'm just mechanically speaking, I'm not readying an action.
Okay.
But thematically.
Okay. Zola, you grab that door and you finally, with the help of Grigori, manage to pull it wide
got
open.
this.
But you're pulling it closed. So, Pijo, you see this stone door just slowly open and nothing's behind it.
Well, I'm being reckless, so I'm going to scamper on over to the door with my arrow first. Be like, who's there?
Do you
In
actually
my
say that,
sca-
or do you?
Yes,
poke-
I say,
okay.
who's there in my scariest Peugeot voice possible. Which is not very scary, mind you.
And Grigori is gonna try to pull off his most diabolical, demonic. I am Malbog from the pits of hell, and then some prestidigitation for like flames and fire to come out, and like hearing that it's Pijo, trying to
Roll an intimidation
scare him
check. Pijo, insight.
Jeez.
Tower's going to shoot a web charge at that bush.
Knowing who it is. Well, I'm going to just like in a burst of feathers and fear, fly up to the opposite corner of the ceiling as quickly as possible. And just hide up there.
It seems like you guys have done well, and you've managed to find this, again, relatively unscathed.
How's it going, teams?
There's a demon here, and it's not nice.
Oh,
scared.
Grigori puts on the sound of some fighting, and then in his normal Grigori voice, "Oh, don't worry, we killed it. You're safe now, Pijo."
Tower's going to is the cube. Is
There
it
is
on
a
pedestal?
cube
That's
on the
fine.
pedestal. It's right in the center. It's just positioned there. There doesn't appear to be any sort of covering. Everything seems...
No pressure plate that we can observe that we've seen before.
Roll a perception check. You don't see any sort of pressure plate.
Yeah, gonna be reckless.
Not
Hate
yet.
that.
Just gonna sticky arm. Just gonna pick it up.
Okay. With your sticky spider arm, you reach out, grab hold of it. You do lift up the cube. You've got the cube. Seems fairly simple, straightforward.
Very good.
You
Here's
now have
the other shoe.
Work my way out.
to Ijin. So you now have Ijin's puzzle cube. Nice and simple trap. As you guys are making your way back,
Did you say nice and
Avery.
simple trap?
Yes, he did.
oops, Averin, you will hear a voice call out from behind, and it's Oofbert.
Ooper, do
We
not
have-
step on those pressure plates.
Oh, I won't. We've got friends.
Why did
Great.
Ulfort suddenly sound sinister?
We're very friendly people. We're always looking to make new friends.
More of those snake women. They're in the area. What should I do?
Stay hidden.
Okay.
Team, we've got company. Let's get out of here.
So the rest of you make your way around, following the paths that you follow to get there. You'll avoid any of the spinning blade traps, which I'm quite impressed by how well you did that. Not turning down any dead ends, Pijo. Well done.
Thank you.
Right. You now are presented with the same problem you had before. Now, Pijo can fly, and the spider can carry people back and forth. So it seems quite capable that you guys, if you're willing to spend the time carrying each other, you should be able to move back.
Yeah.
Unless someone wants to brave the steps again.
Be reckless.
Nope.
Okay. Then everyone will make their way out. When you get out, roll a perception check, everyone.
Before we go out, during that, Tao would have handed the cube to Avery.
Put it in my bag.
Okay. So, pretty good. Averine, Zola, Pijo, and even Carmen, because they're not really doing too much to be stealthy. Basically, everyone except Grigori. You can only... oh, you sent it to me privately, didn't you?
I did.
Secrets.
Sure.
So as we are walking, every once in a while, you see Zola wince, and you see Grigori's wounds heal. And I think that's going to happen
3 times.
4 times, actually.
4 times?
Yep.
Okay. So, that means Zola loses what? 40 additional hit points?
Yep.
Okay. What are you guys going to do?
She's limping and she's like, I feel ridiculously sick.
You're just gonna squawk on over there. Like, are you okay? Did you get hit by one of those traps in there, or what?
Not that I know of. Not that I'm aware.
Well, this
Grigori will
is
cast Healing Word on Zola for 8 healing.
While you guys are doing this and coming out, you will spot, moving through the ruins, is a small team of Yuan-Ti purebloods. A harem of females in their like glistening clothing with little bells on their heels, all of that stuff, moving through the ruins, not making any attempt to be stealthy. What do you guys want to do?
Can they see us?
They don't seem to have seen you yet.
I will make an attempt to be stealthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Can we hide behind the temple?
There's plenty of ruins, particularly within the shrine or around the shrine, that you guys can hide behind. So hiding from these folks is fairly easy to do. Not even going to require a stealth check. But you now can see a group roaming around looking for something.
How many?
3 Yuan-Ti pureblood women.
Zola, are you okay?
I'm just gonna lay here in this bush for a minute. Yeah, that's nice. Not moving is good.
I'm going to use Healing Word again on her for 8 more hit points.
What time of day is it now?
It's evening. You spent about an hour or so within that place, so the sun is going to set within an hour or 2. I would say anyone with a passive perception of maybe 14 or higher would easily be able to notice the effect that is upon Zola the fact that Grigori is healing and that he is caring so much to heal her up.
His Mapenzi. They were attacked by a demon, so obviously this is related to that. It makes sense. I don't see what the concern is.
Can I ask who has a passive over 14? And I can't see anybody, unfortunately. I can only hear your voices.
I do.
Okay, so
Aberreen does not.
Carmen doesn't.
Tower does.
Tower and Pijo. Pijo apparently believes your story, so I guess it's just Tower that
Well, I got like a
notices something
7.
might be up.
Was there a deception check in the story here? Should I be an insight on this?
Are you trying to hide what's going on, Grigori?
No, and I seem to recall on the story of the demon or whatever, like Tower beat my intimidation check with his insight check.
Yeah.
He knows that was just me messing with Pijo, but there's no deception. Grigori doesn't know what's going on. Zola's just really getting hurt, and he's trying to take care of her.
Yeah. It's obvious, Tower. You know that something is wrong with Zola that wasn't wrong with her back inside the building.
Why is it that Zola seems to be getting sick, Grigori, while you seem to be healing? No one is casting anything on you. She is detrimentally falling ill while you heal. It seems similar to the effects we had back on the river, and we could not explain them.
That's what I was going to say, is it feels just like that.
I'm going to now do a healing spirit on Zola while this is happening, so that she can get more than all those healing words.
Thank you.
That is an excellent healing spirit token.
Adorable.
I don't know, and I don't like not knowing, and this is something we ought to figure out. But now, in the open with Yuan-Ti, blatantly walking about is not the time.
So, unless someone's going to push Zola out of the healing spirit so that they can walk through it, Zola is going to get 10d6 of healing, while no one else will.
It's fine.
Grigori, can you have her re-roll hers, or is that only if it's healing against you?
If anyone is within 5 feet of me who rolls dice, so it doesn't. If you cast a spell and you roll the dice, or if someone gets healing and they roll the dice, whoever rolls the dice, if they are within 5 feet of Grigori, I can use a sorcerer point to let them re-roll some of those.
You have to spend something for it. Got it.
Right.
Cool.
So Zola, roll 10d6.
I'm rolling, okay.
So 39 is the result. Grigori, are you going to do anything for that?
Yep. You can re-roll any number of those dice once.
I'm full health.
Just for clarification, those 10 dice rolls happen over 10 rounds, and I think
Over 10 rounds.
that thing only works for one of those rounds.
That is very good.
Point.
Well, I'll let you. I would make you re-roll the one. I'd give you the option. If this is a round by round thing.
So I'll pop
Good
that
point.
up and
Good
just be
catch.
like, cured. Thank you very much, Pichu.
Welcome, Zola.
I'm going to give you a big hug.
Oh, I'm going to wrap my wings around you, but quietly because
yes.
of the...
Yes.
But as quietly as possible because of the scary snake people. that are much more scary than Zola.
Okay. So what are you doing?
What do we know about their clothing?
Judging by what they're wearing, these Yuan-Ti women are very clearly not fitted out for like combat in terms of they're not wearing any armor. They're just wearing basic cloth. They look quite decorative. So everything they're wearing is very pretty, makes quite a bit of noise as they're stepping around and jingling. They do happen to have whips strapped to their waist. Each one of them has a whip, but no weapons.
Are there jinglies, sparkly jinglies?
You always have to go there, don't you, folks? Yes, their jewelry seems to sparkle. It's probably worth quite a bit, Pijo, if you would like to ambush them. You're welcome to.
Pijo is going to do his best to resist the urge because.
Stay back, Bijou. Stay back.
But it's so sparkly.
Look in your bag of sparklies you got earlier today. Let that be your distraction. See all the sparklies? So sparkle. Yes.
Jingling a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Are we close enough to make out the details of their facial features or any other distinguishing non-humanoid things, so that if we wanted to disguise ourselves as them, we could in the future?
Someone would have to get a little bit closer to be able to get a good enough view of all of them to be able to do so. But one person stealthing up could possibly do so, yeah. But you're not quite close enough right here.
I'll mention quietly to everyone. They seem to have free run of the place. They don't seem to be concerned with any dangers. Perhaps if we could copy their likenesses in the future, we could pass unmolested through the UNT hideout.
That would only work for 3 of us, though, right? Still worth it.
5, 4 of them and the 1 of you. So 4 of us could disguise ourselves as them, and then you, Zola, should be free to otherwise walk about.
Okay, I can try to get a closer look.
All right, so roll a stealth check. You should start to sneak.
That's pretty low.
So, perception. Thankfully, they seem to be a little bit preoccupied as they're looking around the ruins, searching for something. They don't catch you following them, slinking behind. You're able to get a good view of their bearing. These are definitely these are definitely trophy wives of a sort, judging by their behavior. Messenger, UNT, they're not combat ready individuals. You're able to get their facial features, see the kinds of UNT markings on them. Most of them have scales just visible upon the base of their spine.
Just for my own curiosity,
yeah.
What color are those scales? Are any of them red?
Most of these are more of a, I want to say, more of a dark brown. Well, not quite red, though.
Okay. I will slink back.
All right, we'll make it back to the group without instigating any sort of danger.
Their biggest deal was that they were purebloods for sure, and their scales were down their back there.
If they're looking for something, does it look like they're looking high, like in the trees, or they're looking low for something very small? What is it?
They were looking into ruins, but they weren't digging through anything. They were just walking past buildings, looking inside them, and then walking on.
So they were mostly keeping it at eye level, it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Is there mannerisms like they're window shopping? Like, we should bring that back. Or is it, they told us to look for this thing?
They definitely looked like they were looking for something.
Yeah, definitely.
Like they were sent out to do a thing.
Noted.
So, what's next for you guys?
It's starting to get late, and we've already hit up 3 shrines. Maybe now's the time to try to find somewhere to rest for the night.
Sounds good.
Now, these Yuan-Ti women were headed south compared to your current position. So do you risk passing them again in order to go back to your campsite, or do you look for a different campsite?
We've traveled too far. We ought to find a new campsite.
Try and find new digs up in the north. Right, here's the question. We saw a bridge. Do we want to go to the east and try the lower regions and then possibly the canyon, or do we want to pitch up north?
What do we need?
Uthbert, you've been in this town for longer than we have.
Not much longer, but yes.
I mean, if we go east now, is it going to be difficult to get back here?
I don't think so. I know that the Yuan-Ti are on the eastern side. Like, that's where the Razin Sea is. So, the further you go, the more you'll see. I don't think it'll be any harder getting back than it will be to go there.
Then it sounds like being in the north is a better location for us to pitch.
Yeah.
I would suggest the alternative that if we head north, and then I guess you're suggesting going around to, so north, then east, then southeast for future.
I'm thinking just for tonight. I think traveling closer to the heart of where Razin Sea is we are more likely to run into people that could find us. So perhaps tonight we ought to move more north and west to find some place to spend the night unmolested.
Well, there's a big old copse of buildings that's between here and in the next shrine. You want to just check that out?
Yes.
And the next shrine to the north. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Could we sleep in the shrine?
The one we're at now?
Yeah. I mean, we know how to get past it.
Many people are looking for it. If they show up in the middle of the night,
Mm.
we would be cornered.
Perhaps we should try this group of buildings, or maybe we risk crossing the road and try this area. It seems inconspicuous, and nobody else seems to. It doesn't seem close to any of the other temples. It may be undisturbed.
Okay, so let's go check out this closest gathering first.
Okay. So, continuing the push north through the ruins. Again, stealth and perception checks. So, hiding and looking for anything that might be looking for you.
It's my last pass without trace for the day.
Okay.
Zola, we are so stealthy. And Carmen, too.
Heck yeah. Try 5.
Can't see anything, but we are super sneaky.
Okay. So, as a group, you all accommodate for each other's failures in stealthing and in being able to spot things. You move further north up towards this copse of buildings. You'll find a couple of the buildings look fairly intact. And one in particular, as you look into it, you notice that whereas most of the other buildings, the earth is kind of filled inside some of the ruins, this one particular building, you can step in through an open window on the ground floor, and it would appear that the lower level is completely cleared out. There is no earth that's kind of filled up this space, but it is below ground. Do you go inside this and go effectively underground?
Based on the other buildings that have had earth fill in, is there a way to kind of observe, like, oh, that happens because of like flooding, and this one just has high walls so it's not flooded? Or is this like, there's nothing down here because people have excavated it and it looks like a place people come to and they might come back?
So judging by the way that it is positioned, the walls caved in on themselves in such a way that they blocked off any additional earth from moving in. So you'll see doorways that have crumbled and the earth is just kind of compacted into it, creating a natural pocket within the earth here.
Is there any signs that anyone's been camping there recently?
Roll a perception check. You see no signs of any campsites, but you do catch a glimpse of a tiny little footprint. And I mean tiny, tiny little footprint. And the scent of honey in the air. A sweet smell seems to catch upon the wind as you stumble across this little footprint.
The footprint, what's it in the shape of? A human foot or a paw?
It is. It could be assumed to be a humanoid-shaped foot, a human's foot, but it's about 3 inches long, maybe half an inch wide. Tiny little foot.
That would be too small to be halflings.
Absolutely too small.
Okay. I'll just kind of point that out. Guys, just check this little footprint out.
It's adorable.
It's adorable, but whose is it?
Grung or Vegapygmy is my guess.
Can I roll a survival to maybe identify what the source of the footprint is?
Go ahead and roll survival.
No.
Okay. You won't be able to tell what kind of creature this is, only that you can tell that it is a bipedal creature, at least, by the way that it walks. And you can actually see the additional tracks, and you could follow it if you wished to. They lead away from this building.
I think I wish to. I'm gonna, so I'm gonna follow this. If anybody wants to come with, see where it's going, see if we have something to contend with. Still being sneaky.
Well, can anyone smell anything? So I can also smell honey. I might just be hungry, to be fair, because I haven't eaten ages. I'm just saying.
There is a sweet smell of honey on the air. As you pick up on it, you notice it. And as Pijo kind of follows the tracks, it gets a little stronger.
It smells really good over here, guys.
Right direction. You follow along, you'll twist around a building, and then you see kind of stuck up to the side of a ruin is an overturned wagon. It's a wagon made of wood. Pretty nice, dark oak.
Tell me more.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
just going to make a note of this.
Wood. Okay. It's been upturned, thrown over. You can see flower petals that aren't native to the rest of the jungle, the rest of the city of Omu. You've not seen them outside, but you see lots of flower petals littering the ground around the outside, almost like like it was placed there, thrown there. You can hear the buzzing of bees that are obviously nesting inside the wagon. The little footprints lead underneath the overturned wagon.
When you said it looked like it was placed there, did you mean the flowers or the wagon?
Flowers.
The flowers.
The flowers that have just kind of been strewn around like you would.
Would I have known of? Yeah. Would I know of anything from my experience that does stuff like this? I could roll a nature if that would.
Nature or history.
Okay, they're both -1, so I'll do nature. Oh no, nature I'm trained in. Okay, I'm gonna do nature.
Nope.
Okay, well I'm gonna whenever I am confronted with a thing that I don't know what it is, I'm gonna go back to Aberrane. Like, Rini, there is a wagon made of very nice wood. Thought you'd want to know that. Just over this way, it's turned upside down. There's a bunch of flowers. It smells like honey. There's footsteps going in. There's bees. I don't know what's going on. You're much smarter than I am. Maybe you can tell me what's going on.
It sounds like some folklore stories you've heard. You guys have, in fact, encountered a Chwinger before. There was a Chwinger that fell in love with Greco. Greco's stone-like form. It has a thing for statues and petrified creatures. So you've stumbled across the tracks of one, and you've heard fairy tales of children's stories of Chwingers that will play games with people, and if you can find them, you usually get candy or something like that.
I like
That's
candy.
the sweet smell of honey. Like, that's what the children say or hear.
I relate that.
Well, do you know if they ever give the not like bad stuff? Are they?
But little tales don't talk.
If there are any negative consequences whatsoever, I haven't come across them.
Well, then I'm gonna go.
No way this can turn out bad. We should just all in.
All right. I like your enthusiasm, Rainey.
We just came from the shrine that encouraged recklessness, so Pijo, carry on.
Well, I'm going to approach this.
Grigori says as he feels his scars where he got repeatedly shot.
I'm gonna approach, but I'm gonna try not to disturb the bees, because bees are nasty. They're mean. They sting you.
So how are you going to try and not to disturb the nest of bees in this wagon? What are you going to do to avoid them?
I mean, where is the nest of bees in the wagon relative to, like,
you can hear them coming from underneath the wagon, and that's where the footprints went.
I guess, would animal handling as a way to keep them, like, because I know bees don't usually get aggressive unless you attack them in the real world. So would Pijo be able to try, well, he'd be able to try to approach, like, in some kind of way to not set off any kind of fight mechanism, knowing that he's been in the jungles before and maybe has encountered bees in his life and might perhaps be able to. I just don't know if animal handling would really work.
You can always try it.
I'll try it.
Go ahead and roll an animal handling check.
Hey, well, if it's gonna work, it's gonna work.
Nest.
On the bees, not on the nest.
Well, yes, on the bees. You do well. You manage to just hug the ground, slide underneath the wagon, away from the bee's nest, without causing them to sting you. Though a couple of them do fly up to you to investigate you and the colors. They might think you're a flower because you're all pretty. But
I'm gonna come back just with some permanently living in my shoulder.
Then they fly back to their nest. Underneath the wagon, you don't see a Chwinger, unfortunately. But what you do see is a moss-covered stone disc. This huge disc that looks probably like, I want to say, 2.5 foot diameter. About the same size as a shield would be, but is made out of stone. It is covered in moss and dirt, but that seems to be underneath this thing.
And there's nothing else under there that I can see.
Nothing that you can see.
Well, I guess I'm gonna reach for the stone disc and try to pull it out, see what happens.
Okay. You reach for the stone disc.
Yeah.
Your hand touches it. That almost sparks. It's a little shock of energy passes between you and the shield. It's definitely an arcane little item here.
Oh, I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. I'm going to try to take it.
Okay. You grab the shield to try and take it.
Yeah.
Bzzz.
No!
I cast Warding Wind.
Start getting active.
I cast
Yeah.
Wording Wind.
Okay, so you're kind of gonna blow the bees away.
If I hear the bees starting to get all crazy, I will cast that.
All right. So it deafens you and other creatures in its area. It extinguishes unprotected flames in its area. It hedges out vapors, gas, and fog that can be dispersed. The area is difficult terrain for creatures other than you, and the attack rolls of ranged weapon attacks have disadvantage. Okay.
So I'm walking and trying to hedge the bees outside of the dome.
Okay. You'll end up pushing the bees a little bit. You'll hit up against the actual upturned wagon that he's underneath at this point, but just kind of push it over him and away. Walking over Pijo's body as he's holding onto this little stone shield.
That's it. I'll be going.
Who's shouting
To the bees.
What? I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'll come out with whatever shield-sized disc is that bristles with arcane energy.
Mm-hmm. What are you guys gonna do?
I'm gonna show it to. I will show it to Averine. Got this thing. I don't know what it does.
With the peas apparently blown and gone, I'll
Yep.
investigate under the cart as well.
Roll an investigation check, though there isn't.
Any honey in that beehive?
There's honey in the beehive, and you can recover the wagon if you'd like.
Yeah.
Can I, Aaron? Do I know that? Probably not.
Averine is desperate for this wood. So,
Really?
yes. You had to go there, didn't you?
It's been a while.
Anyways. Okay. All right. So, if anyone cares to take a look at this shield, you'll notice that it has written on it, it has carved into the outside of this shield, a group of lines in common, and then Omuan as well. Zola, being able to read both, as well as Uvbert, are able to confirm that the message is the same in both languages. It's been copied from common to Omuan. The message simply says, Queen Napaka proclaims that the free people of Omu fear nothing. Brave new gods protect us, as Ubtao did before, but does no longer. Omu will rise again, and Napaka shall claim all that is here by right of conquest.
Cool.
Okay. But the shield is magical.
I cast Identify.
This is it's a stone shield, and it acts as a shield in terms of its AC bonuses and whatnot. But it doesn't weigh more than a pound, which is nice. What it also does, though, is it happens to also be a shield that acts just like a helm of comprehend languages.
Ooh.
So while wearing the shield, you can use an action to cast the comprehend languages spell from it at will.
That's handy.
Okay.
Well, I think I'm going to hand it to Zola because she is sneaky and can get ahead of us much better. And so if somebody is going to use it to sneak around, she's the one to do it.
Huh?
There you go.
What? Shield? What?
It lets, Averine said it lets you understand everything people say. And you can be up front and sneak better than I can. And I already have a shield. It's here.
I kind of need my other hand for stuff.
Well, you can just, is it just if you have to be wielding it, like wielding it, or can you, oh. I missed
Zola is also the only person here who already speaks Omuan and Chultan and Abyssal, the language of the Yuan-Ti.
What about Averine? Averine, I noticed you carry a shield.
I proudly display Azuth, the god of magic, upon my shield, and this assists with my spell casting.
Can you swap them out, maybe? It's very light.
It is very light. This is surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Can you dual shield? Get a +4 to
You
AC.
can dual wield shields. It is possible. You just won't be wielding any weapons.
Well, I'm happy to hold on to the shield unless anyone else wants to use it. It'll help me. I occasionally do have the need to cast the spell for languages, so this will assist in that regard.
You can still get Drew. You can use the shield and still get Drew.
Yeah, but I'm okay, to be fair. We can always swap it round, can't we? We don't have to. It's not going to be equipped and stuck with Alvarine. If we want to swap it round later, then that's.
Okay. Perhaps
The
we
item
can
does
think
not
on it
require
overnight.
attunement, so you'll be fine. You guys will then leave that spot with the wagon and the honey and the shield, and head back to your little hidey hole under the ground, where you can set up your camp for the night, set up your rests. We're going to take that and end the session at that point. So join us next week as we continue to explore the land of the city of Omu, while our adventurers are inside the hut, inside the hole in the ground, inside the ruined city, lost somewhere in the middle of the jungle. So join us next week, folks. Follow us on Twitter at Crituitous RP, Tumblr, crituitousrp.tumblr.com. We really appreciate seeing all of the messages that we get and the follows and everything, so thank you very much. Talk to us on Twitter. We would love to hear from you. Thanks again, folks. Bye.
Night.
Bye.